All right. Appreciate everybody tapping on in. Like, share, and subscribe as y'all come on in the building. And hopefully you guys will enjoy the content that we have for you today. Today we are going to be speaking on two individual ladies who led a spear charge for a campaign against a brother, and now the information has been released through sworn affidavits from a white man. Let me say that right now, from a white man who was the attorney of Carmelo Anthony, and Megyn Kelly and Nancy Grace, who used their platforms to spew the disdain and the foolishness that they did. They're done, because the document that I'm going to show you guys today, that we have been consistently reviewing, exposes that of Nancy Grace and none other than Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, we'll start with her. Megyn Kelly, you guys, she had extensive criticisms that were directed at one Carmelo Anthony. You already know about the situation with Carmelo Anthony and Austin Metcalf. Now, on the Megyn Kelly show, Megyn Kelly launched a multi-part coverage series following the June 2026 conviction of 19-year-old Carmelo Anthony for the fatal 2025 unaliving of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a high school track meet in Frisco, Texas. Now, Megyn Kelly, she denounced Carmelo Anthony's self-defense claims, and she stated that the physical evidence proved this man's guilt. Megyn Kelly stated that the released surveillance footage and the courtroom video proved that Carmelo Anthony was guilty beyond any doubt. And she argued that the footage clearly demonstrated premeditation and aggressive intent rather than a split-second act of self-defense. She also pointed out that the video shows Carmelo Anthony running away from the scene immediately after the altercation and, shoving a bleep in another boy's heart, right? She rejected the victim and racial narratives in this case. Megyn Kelly, she slammed Carmelo Anthony's parents. Let me repeat this again. Megyn Kelly went on a campaign and slammed Carmelo Anthony's parents. And she did this. Megyn Kelly slammed his parents and said that they were... Matter of fact, I want to show you guys this. Because if I'm Carmelo Anthony's parents, I believe his parents should file a lawsuit against Megyn Kelly. And not only Megyn Kelly, I believe they should file a lawsuit against not only Megyn Kelly, but also against old girl, Nancy Grace. And I'm going to show y'all why right here. Let's go ahead and take this, put this up, take this down, and put this up. And I'm about to show you guys some explosive things today. So smash the like button, share the video, like the video. Y'all know I come with great content. And I appreciate everybody who supports my content and supports all the work that I put in on my channel, because I come to bring y'all the best of the best. And I believe Carmelo Anthony's parents, after this situation is all said and done, have a full-blown lawsuit against Megyn Kelly, and not only her, but also Nancy Grace. And I'm going to show you why. So Megyn Kelly, as you guys see, she wrote on her own individual website, megynkelly.com, she slammed Carmelo Anthony's parents for playing the victim in this interview that Carmelo Anthony's parents did, right? Now, in this story that she wrote that Carmelo Anthony's parents played the victim and played the race card, as you guys see right here. She tried to make it seem as if Carmelo Anthony's parents, were just trying to play the race card. As you guys see on your screen right there, it clearly says, and I salute everybody that's tapped in, that's watching this currently right now with us. As you guys can see, it says, and now his family and their supporters are playing the victim and the race card as if there's some doubt in this. We know he did it, but that hasn't stopped people like Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett and former Dallas City Council candidate Devontae Peters from saying vile things, right? So she said they played the race card. This is what Megyn Kelly came out and slammed Carmelo Anthony's parents for when they did the interview with the Breakfast Club, the infamous interview with that Breakfast Club, right? And she basically said, she went on them and she basically talked about how it was beyond reasonable doubt evidence. But what Megyn Kelly wasn't hip to is that the truth just came out the day before yesterday. The night before last night, the truth came out. And in that truth, guess what? That truth showed this. And this is the reason why Carmelo Anthony's parents, they have a major lawsuit for defamation against Megyn Kelly, in my opinion, because Megyn Kelly, she said a lot of devious, diabolical, demonic things about this dude's parents, right? And I'm going to get into the same things with, Nancy Grace as well. But the truth will always reign, and it's going to reign supreme on them. Now, this is the actual paperwork from Carmelo Anthony's legal team's appeal. Now, in this paperwork, I'm going to take you and show you the affidavit of the white man, the lawyer of Carmelo Anthony. And in his sworn affidavit, he made some claims that show that Megyn Kelly blaming Carmelo Anthony's parents for playing the race card, when indeed the legal team for Carmelo Anthony's parents, or Carmelo Anthony, had evidence of Austin and Hunter Metcalf being arrested for racist graffiti, right? Being arrested for racist graffiti. And the fact that the father went on a full-blown racist rant and Megyn Kelly had him on her show for an interview when he went on that racist rant. And I hope that somebody sends this to the parents of Carmelo Anthony, because I feel like they have a great case in the aftermath of the revelations in this appeal documentation. And I'm going to show you guys right now what I'm talking about, right? And this is the exhibits, evidence that was presented. And these are sworn statements, sworn affidavits, meaning that under the penalty of perjury, you guys, in a court of law, if Carmelo Anthony's lawyer was lying, talking about Mike Howard, that was during the case, if he was lying about this, he can go to prison. Now, which we know he wasn't lying. And this is in the actual appeal paperwork that you guys are going to see right now. Now, as you guys see down here, I'm going to show you guys their exhibits. So you guys will see these different exhibits. Exhibit 1, Exhibit 2, Exhibit 3. These are exhibits of evidence that was placed into Carmelo Anthony's appeal documentation. Now, one of these exhibits was explosive, and it exposed a lot of things in this exhibit. And I'm going to show you the exhibit that exposed a lot of deep, dark secrets of racism, violence, and bullying that Megyn Kelly, she falsely accused Carmelo Anthony's parents of using the race card. And I believe Carmelo Anthony's parents should file a lawsuit against Megyn Kelly for that defamatory article and statements that she made on her channel. And I hope, again, somebody gets this to Carmelo Anthony's legal team, to his parents. I hope they get this to his parents, because this is very important. What I'm going to show you guys right now is very important information, and all this can be verified. This is in the official court filings, you guys. So this is not something I'm showing you guys that's not in the official court filings. 193 pages, you guys, of pure unadulterated heat and factual evidence, right? And that's because on this channel we only deal in factual evidence. So Megyn Kelly, when you slandered this man's family, you made a big mistake, ma'am. And ticket is on your helmet. I'm on you and Nancy Grace, because you two are out here leading the charge, making it seem like the man's parents were playing the race card. And you can't say you didn't, Megyn Kelly, because I have you on your official website and your official channel using that type of slander against Carmelo Anthony's parents based off what they said in that interview. See, their parents had information that we weren't privy to. Now, I want everybody to remember this. On page 134, you guys, I want y'all to see this, of the affidavit. That way nobody can say Ticket made this up, Ticket faked, created this information. You go into the court filings right now. Carmelo Anthony's lawyers, they filed a 193-page appeal in his case, right? Because they want a new trial because of different things that happened in this trial. Now listen, you have to comprehend what I'm saying to you one more time. Megyn Kelly on her website slammed Carmelo Anthony's family and said that they tried to play the victim, them and their supporters, and the race card. She also slammed Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett as well, and trying to say that they were doing these things as well. Well, obviously, Megyn, these people were privy to information that all of us weren't in the general public, and specifically Carmelo Anthony's parents, because Carmelo Anthony's parents saw all of the evidence in the case, even the evidence that didn't go in the case. That's why during the court case, there was a gag order where they couldn't talk about the evidence that was in this case. But I want to show y'all this, because in the exhibit, in the evidence that the former lawyer for Carmelo Anthony had sworn, and he gave this information to Carmelo Anthony's new appeal attorneys. And his new appeal attorneys on page 134, you guys, exhibit 10, because I seen somebody come on my channel last night and say, oh, Ticket, you lying. They tried to say I was lying about the paperwork that stated that the Metcalf twins had been arrested for racist graffiti. And not only that, that the Metcalf twins had nearly been kicked off the football team, right, for violence. And not only that, that they also had documentations on their school records that were withheld from this trial of violence and bullying. Smash the like button. Megyn Kelly, you and Nancy Grace are done, and I'm going to prove it right now. So if you go to Exhibit 10, you guys, as y'all see, affidavit of trial counsel Mike Howard, signed and notarized. That was Carmelo Anthony's former legal team. Now you guys are looking at the document from his appeal where his new appellate lawyers, his new appeal lawyers, have put this in the casework, right? So Mike Howard, what he did was he gave his sworn statements of everything that happened that was secret in this case that deprived Carmelo Anthony of getting a fair trial. And I need y'all to smash the like button and share the video on this, because y'all know on my channel, the only thing I will do on my channel is bring 100% pure evidence. I will not bring lies. I will not bring innuendos. I will not bring cap. I will only bring factual information. Now, I want y'all to see this. Let's read the sworn affidavit, because this is demonic. Reading this sworn affidavit, you guys, is so demonic, because it shows you this boy didn't get a fair trial. And for all the people, before I even go into this, who doubt, that said last night, oh, well, it wouldn't help. It would help, and I'm going to tell you why it would help. The reason why it would help is because the jurors are not used to being in a courtroom. The jurors, right? The jurors are everyday average citizens like you and me. So the jurors have feelings. They have emotions. They have thoughts. They feel a certain way. So let's just use the O.J. Simpson trial for an example. If you were to enter that one of the key figures in that trial had racist type of rhetoric surrounding them, along with violence and bullying, that would change your entire perspective of the events of how this thing could have went down. Meaning that could have given Carmelo Anthony way more credibility if he said, yo, dude pushed me and they threatened to beat me up and I was in fear of my life. But when you take all of that off the table, when you take these kids' history from the school, alleged arrest for racist graffiti, and all of these other things, being potentially kicked off the football team, statements from their peers that did not get put in this trial, right, because of an under-the-table deal. Then you have a top-notch alleged journalist like Megyn Kelly and Nancy Grace come on social media and spew some of the most vile, hateful comments towards Carmelo Anthony's parents without knowing all the facts. She have to pay. She have to pay in full. Now let's get to this. Before me, and you guys can see it right here as I got on the screen. Before me, the undersigned notary public on this day personally appeared Mike Howard, who, being by me duly sworn, deposed and stated as follows, right? Now, he basically said his name, number one, that he's over the age of consent, number two, he has a sound mind, number three, and he has personal knowledge of the facts stated herein and says that they are true and correct. Now, he says that he declares that. Now, look at this. This is the part that nobody saw. And this is the most explosive part of the entire filing. Of the whole entire filing. This should have went viral all over YouTube. This should have went viral all over social media. It is insane that this video, this part of the affidavit, didn't do 1 million views. Because this exposes the dark, dirty, deep secrets of how backdoor deals work that can get a dude like Carmelo Anthony 35 years in prison and have people thinking that he was the one. Because remember, their narrative was that Carmelo was the one who initiated, started, and created this entire hateful atmosphere that led to the unfortunate death of Austin Metcalf, R.I.P. Now, let's read it. Number two, I was the trial counsel, supported by second chair co-counsel Toby Shook, third chair co-counsel Tasha Gupta, and briefing appellate co-counsel Michael Morla, right? And he represented Carmelo, and he's saying all these things, right? Now listen, read right here. We have to get to this part right here. Leading up to the June the 1st, 2026 trial of this case, the defense and the prosecution reached an agreement where the prosecution and the defense jointly agreed not to raise any alleged character, reputation, or extraneous offensive bad act evidence relating to Mr. Anthony as well as Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf during the trial, herein referred to as, quote unquote, the agreement. So, what is he saying, Megyn Kelly? The lawyer is telling you that a lot of this evidence already wasn't even placed in the court because that lawyer made a secret off-the-record deal with the other lawyer from the other side, from the district attorney, and the judge knew what was going on behind the scenes. So the judge, he saw all this evidence about the racist arrest for the racist graffiti. He saw all this evidence about the high school records for the Metcalf twins. He saw all of the statements about what was said about the Metcalf twins. And it's funny how they angled this whole case so that that could not be presented in court. And Megyn Kelly, you accused Carmelo Anthony's parents of using the race card when Carmelo Anthony's parents had actual proof of a racist arrest for racist graffiti by the Metcalf twins, ma'am. And you should pay for that big time. And let's keep going. So he says the lead prosecutor in the case, Bill Werschke, brought up the possibility. So it was the prosecutor who wanted this agreement, Megyn Kelly. The prosecutor said, yo, let's not bring up their past history. As soon as the prosecutor said, this is why Carmelo's going to get a new trial. As soon as the prosecutor came to Carmelo Anthony's lawyer and said, yo, I don't want to bring up the history of these guys. I just want to talk about what happened that day in the tent. No, I'll be like, hell no. No. That is important. A person's history and how they act is important. Why is it important, Megyn Kelly? Because if a person has been arrested for racist graffiti and you have a black man in a tent full of white students, and they said that the reason they wanted him out the tent is because he wasn't from that school, then the next question you would have to ask is were there any other students under the tent from a different school? Now, if they were other students under the tent from a different school and they were allowed to stay under the tent, why was this black man targeted? You say it's not racism, Megyn Kelly, but the reports are saying that Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf were arrested for racist graffiti. You are going to have to deal with that. Now, let's keep going, you guys. Let's keep going. And to the person who says Carmelo Anthony was suspended for bringing a knife to school, it doesn't matter. You know why it doesn't matter? I'm going to tell you why it doesn't matter. Because Carmelo Anthony did not stab anybody at school. And here's the question that Carmelo Anthony, if he had any competent lawyer, they would have been willing to put that on the table. You know why? Because the first question they would have asked Carmelo is, why did you have that knife at school? And then the statistics show that 200,000 high school students take a knife or a gun to school each month out of fear of bullying. Once you present those facts in court, that argument about Carmelo got caught with a knife at school is done. Because if he's constantly being bullied, that helps the thought process of Carmelo Anthony. Buddy, man, don't come in here with me. You're going to get cooked. I think I'm on a whole different level mentally than you. Spiritually, psychologically, and everything in between, son. I'm on a whole different level. Now, let's keep going. Let's keep going. So, as I was saying to you guys, right? The prosecution came to the defense and said, think about this. The defense was willing to let this shit, anything that they had on Carmelo, the defense was willing to let go in the case like that. Read number 3. It was the prosecution that didn't want their side's history to be, and I'm going to say it again, exposed to the public. And I'm going to prove to you why. And Megyn Kelly, you're going to have to pay in full. The lead prosecutor in the case, Bill Werschke, brought up, it was the lead prosecutor, Bill Werschke, who brought up the possibility of the agreement a number of times. So they were desperate, right? Let me repeat this again. The prosecution was desperate to hide this information. And this goes all into the narrative. If you're a great thinker, you'll be on the same level as I'm on. It goes all into the narrative. And this all happened before the case even started. So now you understand why it was important to knock those black jurors off the case. Why? Because if we knock those black jurors off the case, guess what? If any of this stuff gets brought up in court, if anything with racism gets brought up in the court, and they find out that them boys was arrested for racist graffiti, they find out that them boys was bullying and had a violent history in the school, all bets is off. Because now, when you combine all of the different aspects that I'm about to read to y'all in this writing right here, from Carmelo Anthony's lawyer and a sworn affidavit that didn't make it to the trial, now it's done, right? Now, I want to show you guys this because it's easy work to prove exactly what I'm saying. And listen, you can have any of these detractors come in the comment section. They can say anything they want to say. Guess what? They can't take away that them boys was arrested for racist graffiti. And I'm going to show you a lot more today, too. Let's go. Smash the like button, share the video, like the video. So, the lead prosecutor, Bill Werschke, brought up the possibility of the agreement a number of times, well before the agreement was discussed in detail. So they were desperate, you guys, to get this on the table. They did not want Austin Metcalf or Hunter Metcalf's history. They did not want their history on the trial. So it wasn't Carmelo's team that said, oh, no, we don't want Carmelo's history. Carmelo's team was, hey, shit, we going to trial. But it was and this was the biggest mistake that Carmelo Anthony's lawyer made. And this is the reason why Carmelo Anthony is going to get a new trial. Because he had an incompetent lawyer who allowed his ass to get dog walked by the prosecution. And I'm going to prove it to you right now. And this is the reason why Megyn Kelly, you and Nancy Grace are going to have to pay in full Carmelo Anthony's parent. Because what you did was slander and libel of character, right? because you didn't have all the facts. And you said that that woman and her husband was playing a race car when you said it had nothing to do with race and it had everything to do with race, and we're going to prove it. Now, let's keep going. They brought up the agreement a number of times. It was discussed in detail and eventually reached. When mentioning a proposed agreement, Mr. Worski, that's the district attorney, y'all, proposed that we try the case clean. Oh, so he want to try the case clean. He don't want to go into the background, y'all. He want to try the case clean, right? Which, read it right here, y'all. Which he defined as based on only what happened under the tent that day. This is demonic work right here, boy. So what they wanted to do is, and here's the thing, right, y'all? Here's why this is so important. I want everybody to listen because I got to break it down in layman's term for people. You got to break this stuff down for people in layman's term. This is so important to set the parameters, and why this was left out was so important is because think about this, you guys. It's different if Austin Metcalf and Hunter Metcalf were choir boys. This is a whole different situation. Let me say it again. If Austin and Hunter Metcalf were choir boys, this is an entirely different situation. But the fact that they had a history of violence, a history of bullying, and a history of being arrested for racist graffiti, now that changes the entire parameters and dynamics of what you believe could have happened that very day under the tent. Because I'm telling y'all this, right? I truly believe, and this is what they put in this filing right here, right? If you read the whole filing, right? Carmelo Anthony was truly in fear of being jumped by these boys. So when the one guy assaulted him, he pretty much felt like it was going to be a group that jumped on his ass. In the state of Texas, that meets the standard and bearer for self-defense. You don't have to believe me. Go call and ask his lawyers. See, that's the thing. People want to argue on YouTube and say, oh, Tiki, but they did jump him. They did not jump him. He was afraid that they were going to jump him, and that meets the standard, especially when you bring into effect their history, their past, and this is the reason why, right? In a lot of court cases, you bring up a person's history, right? If they have a history of violence, if they have a history of if they have bad character history, right? Of shitting on people, treating people bad, being a racist. Now, that changes the entire dynamics of the rules of engagement, because now I have presented to the court and showed the court that they have a history of bullying, violence, and arrest for racist graffiti. That changes everything. Now let's keep going, you guys. That's why I always say you have to operate in truth with these demons, because this is what I told y'all they did. I believe this. I believe that there was lies that was intentionally put out to the black community because they wanted black folks to run with those lies and look stupid. Like, I seen the video. I seen a clear video. You didn't need to see a clear video. It didn't need to be done in this case. This case was lost behind the scenes. It wasn't about no video. So when you put that lie out, then they can come out and say, see, they lying. See, they full of shit, and discredit you. But when you live and you walk in truth and honor and dignity and morals and respect, they can never use or strip you from that. That's why I've always stayed on this level right here. I want y'all to think about this again. I'm going to show y'all what I'm talking about, right? So think about this. Why did the prosecution come to the defense all this time before the case even started and begged them, yo, let's keep this case clean, man. Let's not talk about the history of the two boys. I don't want to bring that up. Why not do that? Why not do that? Now, let's keep going, right? Let's keep going. So it says right here, right? Based on what happened that day under the tent is what they wanted to keep it at, right? Carmelo Anthony's lawyer, as soon as he seen that shit, he should have jumped on their ass. He should have said, oh, hell no. Because he should have saw how desperate they were to keep that out of court. They had to keep that out of court. Why? Because you would have been fucked with an O.J. Simpson moment. Imagine if in the court, you guys, right? This is why the jury selection comes in. This is why not allowing certain people in the courthouse comes in to their filing. It all makes sense. All the pieces fit. Listen to what I'm saying to y'all, right? If you had 2 black jurors on the stand, on the jury pool, right? And anybody brought up in the court that Austin and Hunter Metcalf was arrested for racist graffiti, we got a hung jury. New trial. Hung jury. New trial. You are not, and they knew. See, this is the thing. This is the reason why he came. He knew he could not win that case without having to go do a dirty deal under the table to keep their history out of it. And I'm talking about the Metcalf twins. They were going to have school officials and everybody else go up there and tell. And everybody was wondering, like, why? What's wrong with his dusty ass lawyer? Why wouldn't you call all those people up? Because he made a deal with the devil. He made a deal with the devil. All that stuff people's lying about, you don't have to listen to no lies on YouTube. Oh, it's another knife. That was all lies. It's all in the paperwork. Carmelo Anthony's team is not, they're not contesting that this situation happened. They're saying that they acted in self-defense. And from what I have been presented, I believe them. What has been presented, I believe them. And guess what? I guarantee you that Austin Metcalf parents, why haven't the media in the last 24 hours, why haven't Megyn Kelly, they saw this, why haven't Megyn Kelly or Nancy Grace ran a special and called the Metcalf parents back up and asked them, was your son arrested? Your son's arrested for racist graffiti. That changes the entire dynamics. That changes all the rules of engagement, ladies and gentlemen. That changed everything. The fact that they were close to being kicked off the football team, the fact that they had a history at school of violence and bullying, that changes everything. So when people say, why are kids bringing knife to school? Well, if this guy got a history of bullying, violence, and racism, that's right. That's enough right there. And we ain't talking about just one of them. We talking about both of them. And I'm going to show y'all this today. So, in the paperwork, y'all see it right here. It says, Mr. Worski proposed that we try the case clean, which he defined as based off only what happened under the tent that day. The reason he did that, he wanted to eliminate the history of the Metcalf boys. He wanted, so think about this, y'all. The jury never heard any of the other evidence. So how can you really get mad at the jury when the jury didn't hear none of this shit? Why? Because they had a secret deal that kept it out of court. And the judge knew all the time. The judge was sitting his ass up there in that stand, y'all, and he knew all of this shit the whole time. Absolutely filthy. Which is why they've asked the judge to recuse himself. And if he doesn't recuse himself, they're going to have it's an independent judge that's going to come and then he's going to look at the case and then he is going to make a decision, right? Straight like, and then check this out. We'll move on from there. So let's get back into it, you guys. So he says that they wanted to try the case based off only what happened under the tent that day, y'all. Right? And not go into character, reputation, an extraneous offense, and or bad act evidence, meaning your bad acts, evidence that they had of the Metcalf twins' bad acts, applicable to either Austin and Hunter Metcalf or Carmelo Anthony. So they wanted to eliminate that. Smash the like button, y'all come on and share the video. They wanted to eliminate that. So nobody could see that. But guess what they didn't count on? They didn't count on a few good men. They didn't count on a few good brothers and sisters. Shout out to the girl Nika Knight. She does a great job at this. Excellent in reporting. She doesn't come out here and put out lies and cap. I seen 3 knives and all this other shit. She didn't lie like that. She stood with morals and ethics, right? And she reported the facts. I watched her. These other ladies came out here lying and capping and putting out fake information. And all these other dudes came out here lying. It's disgusting when you didn't have to lie. They want you to lie so they can jam you up and make you look stupid in the end. That's why when you tell the truth, they can never jam you up in no type of lie. Now, let's keep going. Number 4. On May the 5th, read number 4, y'all. on May the 5th, 2026, Mr. Shook, that's the assistant for Carmelo Anthony's lawyer, that's assistant lawyer, and Mr. Worski, that's the defense, that's the district attorney, reiterated that he would be quote unquote happy to try this without getting into character at all. Just on what happened the day of the track meet. The fuck you mean? Look, so they're showing y'all the prosecution said that he was happy that they would try this without getting into the character of the Metcalf twins. Because he knew, any good prosecuting attorney knows, worth their salt, that once you put reasonable doubt, because remember, in the court of law, you have to prove beyond a reasonable doubt. They knew that if they showed the Metcalf boys history, that beyond reasonable doubt, they wasn't going to be able to get that in court. That's why they played dirty. And shame on Carmelo Anthony's lawyer for allowing himself to be deboed and bullied by these people. He is a disgrace, and I don't recommend he get any other cases after this. Number 5, on May the 8th, 2026, y'all, the defense and the prosecution teams met in Collin County Grand Jury Room, right? The prosecution team gave us a document entitled The State's Notice of Intent to Use Extraneous Offenses. And we gave them a document entitled Anthony's Motion in Limine regarding the admissibility of pertinent character trait evidence. Evidence under the ambiguous aggressor rule. And evidence under the Texas, right, Code Crime Pro Art, as y'all can see, 38.36. After tendering to each other our respective extraneous filings briefings, we then discussed the proposed agreement. Mr. Worski, which Mr. Worski referred to as a quote-unquote gentleman's agreement. Good old boy system. Good old boy system. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. They had a gentleman's agreement, y'all. And got that boy hung 35 years because they didn't tell y'all the truth in court. And Megyn Kelly, you coming out talking about that boy parents played the race car, you going to pay for it. Because I hope they see this video and sue your ass to the jack. Mr. Worski outlined the proposed agreement as follows. Both sides try the case without character. Once again, this is the prosecution keeps saying, yo, man, we got to try this without bringing up their character, man. We can't bring their character into it. What you mean? Your character means everything. That's why I told everybody listening to this case, it's important to tell the truth. That's why I told y'all, when you had convicted sex offenders running around here talking, oh, I seen the video, No, get him the fuck out of here, bro. We don't need nobody with no smut on their name. Get him out of here, bro. All them people that had dirt on their name, get him out. We need this clean. See, when you beat them, you got to beat them clean, y'all. That way they can't say you cheated. They can't bring up anything and say, oh, well, you moved the goalpost. Peep what I'm saying now. I'm surgical with this thing. Right? And I study criminal justice. So let's get into this. A lot of y'all didn't know that. Y'all just thought I'd just be on here talking. But anyway, let's get into this. So anyways, he outlined the prosecution, the proposed agreement as follows. Both sides try the case without character, reputation, or extraneous evidence for either the Metcalf twins or Carmelo Anthony, and just try the case based on what happened under the tent, right? During another description, during that meeting, what happened on the day of the incident. Seeking clarification, I asked Mr. Worski. And Mr. Worski confirmed, he said, that this would mean that the defense would not go into evidence relating to the Metcalf twins' character, reputation, and extraneous offense acts related, read this, y'all, to violence and bullying. Inclusive. They're showing y'all everything they had on the Metcalf boys. Inclusive of discipline and write-ups in the Metcalf twins' school records within this framework. That boy lawyer ought to be a damn shame to himself. And I'm talking about Mike Howard. Mike, you should, if this is the late great Johnny Cochran, he'd have took their ass to trial and walked their ass dry. Right down there in the great state of Texas, boy. You trying to hide this? Y'all trying to hide their discipline record? Write-ups of violence and bullying? Y'all trying to hide that? Oh, hell no. We ain't finna do that. No, that shit got to come out in court. That's important. See what I'm saying? See, you have to have a connection with the jury. You see, this is the thing I'm trying to tell y'all. The jury are not people who are in a courtroom mumbo jumbo every day. They're everyday average citizens. So when you're in the courtroom, you have to make the jury feel you. That's why I was effing with them not guilty boys. Salute to them dudes. Because the way he was talking some real shit. He was talking some real shit, bro. You gotta put this on the table and get your bath on. And let everybody know, nah, this is what we dealing with. We dealing with two dudes who have a history of violence, bullying, and arrest for racism. What y'all gonna say about it? So now that opens and now we're operating on a whole different rules of engagement now. We're not operating like these boys ain't got no history with them. We're operating like we know what's up with these boys. Let's keep going. This is why you gotta read the paperwork, y'all, and know what you're reading. Study to show thyself approved, y'all. You have to read the paperwork and know what you're reading. That's why I break it down like this to y'all. Y'all might get mad at me because of the way I say it, but I have to break it down like this so people can understand clearly. So, right? Once again, he says he asked and Mr. Worski confirmed. That's the district attorney, y'all. Now check this out, y'all. That this would mean that the defense would not go into evidence relating to the Metcalf twins' character, reputation, and extraneous offensive acts related to violence and bullying, inclusive of discipline and write-ups in the Metcalf twins' school records within this framework as well. Read that last little 4 words right there. As well as racism. Megyn Kelly, let me go back to you 1 second. You're done. You're done. If I was the parents, I would sue your ass for $100 million. However much you got, you coming up off that. Because you said that the parents was playing the race card. That's what you said on your channel. How could they play the race card when they had evidence of racism? And then the daddy went on a full-blown racist rant. And then you had that same daddy go on your YouTube channel on your network. And did you hold the daddy to his thought about this? No, you didn't. And somebody blocked JT Stevenson 81. Get your ass out of here. Don't nobody want to hear from you. Ain't no clickbait around none of this shit. Do you see the paperwork right here, sucker? It said right here on the paper, bro. Learn how to read, brother. We don't play no games over here. We in the paperwork, dog. See, they had this on paper. This ain't no innuendos or none of this shit. Tell the Metcalf mama and daddy to bring their ass to the front of the class and answer, did they sons have a history of racism? Were their sons, somebody asked Austin Metcalf, daddy, was your son ever arrested, your sons ever arrested for racism? Somebody got to ask that question. That's why they didn't want that to come up in court. They didn't want it to come up in court. Daddy went on a foot. Daddy had me kind of fooled at first. Because when he went over there to meet with them, it's like he went over there to butter them up a little bit. Maybe the daddy, they didn't come to that agreement at that time. Remember when the daddy went over there to where they was meeting? At that time, they might not have had this agreement down pat. So the daddy was probably kind of nervous and worried that, damn, they might find my son not guilty. They might find, this guy not guilty because of my son's history. See, the daddy know. The daddy know. And remember, the judge, what did that judge do? That judge went and put a gag order on their ass. So they couldn't talk about none of this. So the media couldn't know anything about this information. Peep game now. And I'm going to show you even deeper in the paperwork why this shit get disgusting. And it shows you the dark side of courtroom politics, antics, and all these other different type of things, backdoor deals that are done between legal teams. Right? Now, I'm going to show you this. Check it out. So it says, as well as racism. In exchange, the prosecution would not go into the character, reputation, and extraneous offense acts relating to Carmelo Anthony, inclusive of the contents of Carmelo Anthony's cell phone and school disciplinary records. Right? Didn't say anything about racism or bullying with Carmelo Anthony. He 18-year-old kid. He might have had a little bit of, you know what I'm saying? He might have had, you know, in Carmelo's phone, he might have had a bit of big booty soldiers. Triple X big booty soldiers in that cell phone. They probably got him. You know what I'm saying? Hey, man, hey, this boy over here looking, they probably got him on that. You know what I'm saying? Straight like that. Yeah, he might have been suspended a time or two because he had that little thing on him in his bag and they caught up with him. He ain't got no racist or violence or bullying allegations on him, though. This is the reason why they were desperate to make the deal. And Mike Howard, he should have let his NUTSs hang in this case. Because once they came to you being desperate, that let you know they wasn't secure about their case. But you fell into the trap. And this is the reason why that boy gonna get a new trial. Watch what I tell y'all. Let's keep going. At this meeting, he says, I sought clarification on how this agreement would work. Practically, specifically, how to handle the possibility of quote-unquote opening the door. How many times I tell y'all on this channel, opening the door? This is why I told y'all. Remember I told y'all this? And I didn't know any of this information, y'all. I did not know that they had all this private information. I just sat up here. I was like, why didn't they put Hunter Metcalf on the stand? He's the #1 witness. Why didn't they put him on the stand? And the only reason why I could think, and I told everybody listen to my video, y'all know this. I said it's a legal term. It's called opening the door. If the prosecution put Hunter Metcalf on the stand, they cannot control the questions that the defense asked him. That's why they would not put him on the stand, because they would open the door. And if you open the door, there's nothing the judge can do to stop any of the questions that the defense would have to Hunter Metcalf. That's the reason why they didn't put Hunter Metcalf on the stand. Now, let's look at what else demonic they did. And make sure y'all smash the like button, share the video, like the video. And when you're talking to me, you're talking to a very educated person. Very surgical with this thing, boy. Surgical with this thing. And you can ask any lawyer worth their salt. They'll tell you, hey man, what ticket is speaking facts. Now, let's keep going. Right? So, right? Specifically, how to handle the possibility of opening the door to this evidence from either side. During this meeting, Mr. Worski repeatedly expressed his concern that the defense would quote-unquote kick its own door open by asking questions of witnesses that would delve into issues restricted by the agreement. What does that mean, y'all? The prosecution didn't even want him asking the witnesses about the Metcalf twins. Boy, they handcuffed that nigga lawyer. And his lawyer allowed himself to be handcuffed. He don't deserve no more. Matter of fact, Mike Howard, you just need to go ahead and retire, bro. Just hang that shit up, bro. Because I can't see nobody else wanting you to represent them, man. You might as well go ahead and start doing a little penny ante shit, bro. Because what you did in this case right here, in this high-profile case, you dropped the ball, bro. You were supposed to let them things hang in this case. This was your biggest case. This is the biggest case of your life. And you dropped the ball like this. You ought to be a damn shame to yourself. And now you're coming back admitting this? That all you allowed these people to get no Vaseline? Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Now let's get to this, y'all. So it says, right? It says, by asking questions of the witnesses that would delve into issues restricted by the agreement. I asked about specific statements made by the witness interviewed by the police and captured by video on the day of the incident. Were those witnesses discussed? Listen, y'all. This is very important. None of this went to the courthouse. None of this went to the trial. So how's the jury supposed to know if this didn't go to the trial? Now check it out, y'all. Where those witnesses discussed the Metcalf twins being quote-unquote passionate, quote-unquote triggered, and quote-unquote not tolerating being disrespected, etc. Mr. Worski eventually agreed that the questions narrowly tailored to ask about specific statements the witnesses made to police about the incident under the tent on April the 2nd, 2025, including statements just described about the mindset and actions of the parties involved in the incident, would not constitute, quote unquote, kicking open your own door, end quote, and thus would not violate our proposed agreement. During this meeting, we discussed the terms of the agreement, being that testimony. Listen, y'all. So this ain't no innuendos. This is actual goddaggone factuals right here. Being that testimony from eyewitnesses from under the memorial tent on April the 2nd, 2025, and who were discussing the facts of what happened under the memorial tent on April the 2nd, 2025 would be permissible. And that neither side, this is what the prosecution's like, hey man, we ain't gonna go into no character. They knew they was gonna get their ass destroyed if they went into character. That's why they didn't want to go into it. And dumbass Mike Howard allowed them to do him dirty. And that's why Carmelo Anthony is gonna get a new trial. I'm telling y'all he'll get a new trial. I'm telling y'all this. This is egregious right here. It says right here, so it says, and that neither side will go into character, reputation, or extraneous evidence for either the Metcalf twins or Carmelo Anthony. During this meeting, I also asked about the agreement regarding the possibility of the defense calling experts. Listen, so remember I told y'all all this? We did the videos 3 weeks ago on this channel. Go look at the videos. We did the videos talking about epilepsy and things like that. And people were saying, oh, Tiki, what you talking about? And then like later on, a lot of other people on YouTube started talking about the epilepsy as well. But we did that over a month ago, 3 weeks ago, damn near. We talked about Carmelo Anthony having epilepsy and that being a disability, right? And I brought that up. I'm like, yo, why didn't they bring this up and bring those specialists? You know why they didn't bring those specialists? Because his dumbass lawyer took a deal that took all this shit off the table. He allowed those people to take all of the specialists that was going to come in and say everything I told y'all. Remember, I had no privy to this information. I was telling y'all this shit 3 to 4 weeks ago. I had no privy to any of this information. I was just saying, just knowing how cases work. I'm like, why didn't this dude bring in all these specialists to show this man got epilepsy? But this is what's going to really destroy y'all. Because what I'm about to show y'all is that the coach, they had the damn coach that was ready to go up there and testify that he had witnessed Carmelo Anthony suffer seizures. They was going to have a specialist go up there and talk about why Carmelo Anthony would not have wanted a hand-to-hand combat situation with his epilepsy. The goddamn lawyer for Carmelo Anthony did a deal with the devil to take all of that out of the court. That's why nobody knew anything about that. He allowed himself to get with no Vaseline, y'all. No Vaseline, right? No Vaseline, right? Now look at this right here, y'all. During this meeting, I asked about the agreement regarding the possibility of the defense calling experts. The prosecutors only discussed how the agreement would apply to defense experts during the sentencing phase. That means they don't look. They did them so dirty, y'all. I'm gonna get to that later on. They did them so dirty. They wanted to make sure they got him on the guilty verdict and they got him on the sentencing period. This is how dirty the goddamn prosecution did. And Carmelo Anthony's lawyer was a damn fool. And I'm telling y'all this. This is disgusting. These are facts. This ain't no, I think I seen 2 knives and one of them had an M and this didn't get lying ass pieces of you know what. Stop lying. You're dirtying up the case. Stop lying. The truth is right here in the paperwork. I told you the truth is always enough. It was always going to be enough. Oh, man, you ain't standing 10 toes with the car. No, I'm not a damn fool. I'm not going to come out here and say lies so where they can come back and say, oh, look, well, your character's in question. You lied. That was AI you put up there. That was fake. That was fake. Nah, I'm only going to put up the real. That way they can't come back at you with no bull jive. Now, let's keep going, y'all. Right here. The prosecutor only discussed how the agreement would apply to defense experts during the sentencing phase. So I asked how the possibility of the defense calling experts to testify during the guilt-innocent phase would impact the proposed agreement. The prosecutor team replied that they had not considered us calling experts to testify during the guilt-innocent phase. That means after, when you're found guilty and innocent, he said that they hadn't even considered that they would call experts. So now, once this damn fool Mike Howard don't get, I want y'all to think about this. This dude's a damn fool, bro. This is the reason why Carmelo's gonna get a new trial. I want y'all to understand this. He gave the prosecution their whole goddamn strategy. He gave the prosecution their whole strategy. And when he did, the prosecution used that against him and said, nah, you can't use that. We're taking it off the table. And he agreed to it. Bro, he don't need to have a case no more, bro. No more, bro. I mean, it's over with, bro. His career should be over with as of effective immediately. He says they stated that if the defense, listen to this, y'all. This is how demonic this was. If the defense called experts to testify regarding to Mr. Anthony's epilepsy or about the fight to or flight response, they considered expert testimony like that, meaning he couldn't even bring an expert to say, hey man, this dude got epilepsy and I'm going to show you the results of this epilepsy. They said that if he brought that epilepsy specialist that came in there and spoke in the court for Carmelo, he said that they would consider that to violate the agreement and thus open the door to character, reputation, and extraneous offensive act evidence. What a damn fool. So, what happened, y'all? He didn't call any of those witnesses. He gave them what they wanted, like a fool. On May the 11th, 2026, Mr. Worski, right? Dewey Mitchell and Mr. Toby Shook, that's his assistant lawyer for Carmelo, and I discussed the proposed agreement again by phone. I informed the prosecution that we had an informal agreement, right? Informal agreement on the proposed agreement, but that we needed, right? Listen now, to have a final conversation with Carmelo Anthony and his parents to confirm the final agreement. During this phone conversation, Bill Worski, Mr. Worski, confirmed that the agreement would extend to the sentencing phase of the trial as well. They tried to F this boy up big time. So they said, not only are we going to find you guilty, you still can't use none of them witnesses in the sentencing phase to help this boy get a lower sentence. That's crazy. That's crazy, bro. And he agreed to this shit. Mr. Worski said that would mean that in accordance with the agreement, the prosecution would quickly rest its sentencing case in chief without going into any of the allegations listed in the state's notice. Mr. Worski said, however, that he would not allow a false impression to be presented to the jury by a defense witness, and that if such thing occurred, he would respond by going into character, reputation, and extraneous evidence from the state's notice. After the defense asked about an Anthony family member testifying at sentencing, Mr. Worski agreed that the agreement would cover Carmelo Anthony's mother. This is the reason why his mother testified. And not only at the sentencing hearing, y'all, this is how devilish this is. At the sentencing period, y'all, not only did he control, remember everybody was like, why just the mama? Normally they got a whole lot of people go up there to the sentencing period. They wanted to F this boy on his time too. This is how diabolical they were. They said that only his mama could go up there during the sentencing, because everybody's like, why his daddy ain't say nothing? Remember how niggas was coming on YouTube slandering his daddy? Oh, your daddy is a deadbeat, nigga. Why he didn't go up there and speak for you in sentencing Nigga, that's not the daddy fault. That's the goddamn lawyer fault, because the lawyer did a deal with them that only the mama could testify in the sentencing, and the mama, they gave the mama what to say. Look at this, y'all. They told the mama, Anthony's mother testifying, quote unquote, to the standard. And I quote, they gave this word to the mama to say, and it's exactly what she said. I love my son. Please show him mercy. Type of testimony, but no further. That is crazy, bro. They told this nigga mama what to say. And they went with it. This boy getting a new trial. He getting a new trial. Bro, he getting a new trial. Bro, he getting a new trial. I don't give a damn with nobody. He getting a new trial. Now, let's keep going, y'all. On May the 21st, 2026, the defense and the prosecution teams met with Judge Roach in his chamber. This is the diabolical part right here, bro. They met with just Judge Roach in the chambers, and y'all all should smash the like button, and everybody should share this video. This video should go stupid viral. Y'all listen to all that bullshit they put out on the internet. I come here and give y'all 100% uncut, raw, fresh off the boat, A1 Perico. You need to love this shit I'm giving you, nigga. On May the 21st, 2026, the defense and prosecution teams, they met with Judge Roach in his chambers. The judge knew all this shit. Okay, the judge, disgusting. During that meeting, both sides explained the agreement to the judge, describing it again as both sides agreeing not to go into character, reputation, or extraneous evidence as it applies to both sides during the guilt, innocent, and sentencing phases, y'all. As long as no doors are open or false impressions given, we agreed that the best way to document such an agreement would be for the defense to draft and file a motion in limine applying to character, reputation, and extraneous evidence applicable to all witnesses, so it would cover both the Metcalf twins and Mr. Anthony, but if made public, would not trigger reporting in the media. Look at this, y'all. This is sad about quote unquote bad act evidence. And what does that mean, y'all? What if a nigga like me? What if somebody like any of these other reporters on the internet that actually have, you know what I'm saying, great reporting, would have got their hands on unequivocal evidence? See, I'm gonna tell y'all something. I couldn't legally come on YouTube and say, oh yeah, the Metcalf twins are bullies or this, that, before today, because there was no outright evidence. It was hearsay. But now, since this sworn affidavit is out that they had evidence, it's no longer hearsay. It's no longer hearsay. It's in the dockets. Now the parameters change. Look, y'all. They would not trigger reporting in the media about bad evidence specific to certain witnesses, thus endangering a fair trial. On May 21st, 2026, I drafted a motion in limine as described above and sent it to Mr. Worski by email. It was hand-delivered to the judge on the opening day of the trial. This is demonic work, bro. Demonic work, right? Now look at this, y'all. Number 8. The defense understood the agreement with the prosecution to cover all witnesses who could be called to testify by either the prosecution or defense about the incident that occurred between Carmelo and the Metcalf twins and their teammates under the memorial tent on April 2nd, 2025, as every description by Mr. Worski described the agreement to allow for testimony about what happened under the tent. And Mr. Anthony was obviously a witness to quote-unquote what happened under the tent. By the plain meaning of the language, Mr. Worski repeatedly used the defense always understood the agreement to cover Mr. Anthony's potential testimony, just as it would any other eyewitness to the incident under the tent on April the 2nd, 2025. Now y'all see why Carmelo Anthony did not testify. It's right here in black and white. It's right here in black and white. They changed the parameters right when Carmelo was going to testify. And the judge Roach, only gave him 10 minutes to decide whether or not they were going to put him on the stand. And I'm going to show y'all this. Following the plain meaning of Mr. Worski's words and describing the agreement, the defense understood the agreement to cover testimony by eyewitnesses such as the memorial students underneath the tent at the time of the incident, Hunter Metcalf, students outside of the memorial tent who looked over and witnessed the incident, and Carmelo Anthony. They had all these people. Now listen to this, y'all. Check it out. The understanding of the agreement was further confirmed by events that occurred after the motion in Leamy memorializing the agreement was drafted and tendered to the prosecution on May the 29th, 2026, after a meeting, once again, y'all, with this Judge Roach, the prosecution and the defense to discuss how trial security would be handled. The parties discussed the timing of the state's case in chief and when the defense's case in chief would start. Mr. Worski informed the court that the defense that he estimated it would take 3 days for the state to present its case in chief, which would have ended sometime Saturday, June the 6th, 2026. In response, I voiced concern to the judge in front of the prosecution team that some of the witnesses the defense anticipated calling to testify were unavailable on Saturday, June the 6th. And guess what they did, y'all? They dirty asses still had court on a Saturday. Y'all, this boy gonna get a new trial. I'm telling y'all this. This is why you stay in the paperwork, bro. It is very important to stay in paperwork, bro. If you stay in the paperwork, bro, you are not going to lose, bro. Stay in the paperwork. Check this out, y'all. When y'all know they have court on Saturday? When do anybody in here know that they have court on Saturday? On Friday, we're going back on Monday. You tell me. But Judge Roach, he knew. He knew. Let me repeat this again. He knew that the defense had witnesses that could not make it on the Saturday. And he still went and had court on Saturday. People, what I'm telling you, I'm showing y'all all this. Smash the like button, y'all coming. Everybody should be hitting the subscribe button, sharing the video, liking the video. We should have well had over. It shouldn't even been close at this point in time right now. All this I'm showing y'all. Because this is not even funny at this point. This is disgusting. This is disgusting. Look at this, y'all. So this is what they did. Check it out. So, right, anticipating calling to testify were unavailable. So the witnesses that the defense were going to call to testify, they couldn't make it on Saturday. But Judge Roach said, "No, we having court on Saturday." He said, "I explained that. Like in any case, I would not know until the final moment whether we would call our client for sure," meaning Carmelo. "But if the prosecution rested sometime Saturday and the judge forced us to call witnesses immediately on Saturday, I may not have enough witnesses available to fill up a full day of testimony Saturday. I explained that if this happened, it would force me to call my client out of order. The defense plan was to call all our fact witnesses first to establish certain facts and then conclude by calling our client to testify as our last witness." This damn fool gave them the whole game plan and allowed them to F it up. Bro, this man get a new case. Bro, if he ain't get a new case, bro, I'm telling you right now, bro. Right now. Check it out, y'all. On Friday, June the 5th, 2026, the second day of the testimony during the state's case in chief, I checked in with Mr. Worski about how he was proceeding and whether he would end up taking more or less time to present his case in chief than he initially estimated. Mr. Worski informed me that he was moving more quickly than he had initially estimated. Peep now. The prosecution, they did that shit potentially on purpose to make sure that nigga, they knew he wasn't going to be able to bring them witnesses on Saturday because he told them. So what did they do? They made sure that they ended their part. So the witnesses he wanted to bring couldn't come on that Saturday. Carmelo Anthony got the screw job, bro. This is the screw. This is the of the century, my G. Now let's keep going, right? So Mr. Work informed me that he was moving more quickly than he had initially estimated. So the prosecution was on track to rest his case in chief midday Saturday. In this conversation with Mr. Worski, I again brought up the fact that several defense witnesses were available on Saturday, and if the judge proceeded with his plan to force the defense to call witnesses immediately upon the prosecution resting, in order to have a full day of testimony on Saturday, we might be forced to call our client out of order. This time, I did not preface this statement with the perfunctory, like in any case, right? I won't know if I am going to call my client at the last minute because I was not on the record and was speaking frankly with opposing counsel. I was very plain about the defense's intention to call Mr. Anthony to testify and how the judge's proposed schedule requirements were going to force us to call Mr. Anthony out of order. So they were going to mess up their whole plan anyways. This fool gave them their whole strategy. That's a damn fool. I don't independently recall what time on Friday, June the 5th, this conversation with Mr. Worski occurred, but it must have occurred just before noon because I then sent an email to Michael Moeller describing the problem we were facing and asking Mr. Moeller to draft a brief for us to argue to the judge that he couldn't force us to call our client out of order. Let's keep going, y'all. This is crazy. Megyn Kelly, you're done. You and Nancy Grace are done. Throughout the morning and early afternoon on Saturday, June the 6th, Mr. Shook, that's Carmelo Anthony's old assistant lawyer, and I repeatedly checked in with Mr. Worski, the prosecution attorney, y'all, to get updated estimates of when he might rest his case in chief, each time referring to how the judge's plan was going to force us to call our client out of order. Besides the defense team repeatedly mentioning in front of Mr. Worski and the rest of the prosecution team that we intended to call our client to testify, even if it meant that it would be out of order, Mr. Worski's own actions and arguments made it clear that he knew full well that we intended to call Mr. Anthony to testify. Even before both sides tendered their notices of arguments in favor of the admissibility of character, reputation, and extraneous evidence pertaining to the other side's witnesses, Mr. Worski made references to understanding that the defense sought to introduce, peep this now, so this is very important, y'all, Megyn Kelly. This is why you don't talk that shit you talking, Megyn Kelly, because you're done. You and Nancy Grace are out of here. Mr. Worski, that's the district attorney, made references to understanding that the defense, Carmelo's lawyers, sought to introduce character and reputation evidence about evidence, y'all, not lies, not innuendos, evidence about Austin and Hunter Metcalf that was uncommunicated and unknown to Mr. Anthony via the ambiguous aggressor rule from Torres versus State. The ambiguous aggressor rule and the admissibility of uncommunicated character and reputation evidence of the descendant in a murder case are all a part of a self-defense argument. Torres discusses in depth how the ambiguous aggressor rule allows the defense to put on uncommunicated character and reputation evidence before or after the defendant testifies. Mr. Worski repeatedly brought up Torres in discussions with the defense team in the months leading up to the trial, stating that while he thought the judge would quote-unquote rule correctly, so this nigga, the prosecution said, yeah, I think he gonna rule in our favor. He said he thought the judge would rule correctly and not allow the evidence. He conceded that the character evidence could be allowed. This repeated discussion of Torres, meaning Torres versus State, that case, and how it may apply to the trial, showed that Mr. Worski was aware of at least the possibility of Mr. Anthony testifying in order to argue self-defense. Now remember all these liars on YouTube, y'all, that was saying he didn't even do it. It was Hunter who it was Eddie who did it. They all lied. His own legal team is saying that, hey man, look, he did it. It was self-defense. Didn't I tell y'all this? This is why you don't believe liars on YouTube that come out here with half a weaves lying. We don't believe that shit. Stop lying. And niggas saying, oh, is that what you said? Say it again. Liars. Stone cold liars. Grifters. Right? Destroying the case. That's why I told y'all, the one credible girl was Meek at Night. That's the one credible girl who wasn't putting no V's on it. She wasn't capping. She wasn't lying. She was telling the truth. I respect her because she told the truth. Right? But it says Mr. Worski was well aware of at least the possibility of Mr. Anthony testifying in order to argue self-defense. This was the entire purpose of the quote-unquote agreement, and that it provided value to the prosecution, limiting the defense from presenting, and look at this, y'all, from presenting, right, damaging character and reputation evidence against Austin and Hunter Metcalf. Game over. Game over. Game over. Let me read that sentence again. This was the entire purpose of the agreement, in that it provided value to the prosecution, limiting the defense, meaning Carmelo's team, from presenting damaging character and reputation evidence on not only Austin, but Hunter Metcalf as well. And the defense, from the defense's perspective, the entire agreement centered around the defendant testifying without impeachment by character, reputation, and extraneous evidence in exchange for the defense not seeking, look at this, y'all, to introduce character, look at this, y'all, reputation, and extraneous evidence against the Metcalf twins. Furthermore, any competent criminal trial lawyer knows that for a self-defense argument to have any chance of succeeding, the defendant must testify. For all these reasons, the defense always understood the agreement to include Carmelo Anthony's testimony free of impeachment by character, reputation, and extraneous offense bad act evidence, just like every other witness either side could call to testify about what happened that day under the tent that day. Here we go right here, you guys. Let's keep going. The defense reliance on that agreement. 13. Throughout the trial, the defense revised its trial strategy in reliance upon the... So they changed their whole strategy. This is how they got cooked in court, y'all. This fool changed his whole strategy thinking that the prosecution was going to play fair. Nigga, they trying to convict your client. It ain't no playing fair in court. Right? Absent of the agreement, y'all, the defense intended to cross-examine. Now listen to this, y'all. They had with it. This Megyn Kelly, y'all are done. You and Nancy Grace, y'all out of here, bro. Y'all are out. Y'all talk all that shit. Look at all this evidence they had, y'all. I'm finna show y'all this. Look at this, y'all. The defense intended to cross-examine each memorial student witness the prosecution called about Austin and Hunter Metcalf's character and reputation for violence, for being bullies, and for racism. Megyn Kelly, though, gonna dog out this nigga parents, talking about, oh, y'all just trying to play the race card. Y'all trying to play the race card. Somebody send this to his parents. Somebody send this to Carmelo Anthony's parents. They have a class action. They got a serious lawsuit. I wouldn't say class action. They got a serious lawsuit against Nancy Grace. Against Megyn Kelly. And we're going to go to Nancy Grace next. Because Megyn Kelly went on her website. This is an article from her website saying that not only was the parents, y'all, look at this, y'all. Let me show y'all this right here so y'all can see it clear. She said they played the race card. Look at this. She said, and playing the victim. And now his family and their supporters are playing the victim in the race card. Defamation. That's clear defamation. Clear defamation. Megyn Kelly. And then Megyn Kelly, her team, they got this paperwork, y'all. Do you think they ran a retraction? Do you think she ran a retraction on her statements? Hell no. Hell no. She gotta go. She got this. I'm showing y'all this. She got to go. It's right here in the paperwork, y'all. This is why I tell y'all all the time. Read the paperwork. Stop listening to these niggas on YouTube just lying. Read the paperwork. Right? Look at this right here. Right? It's right here in the paperwork. Look, y'all. And it gets worse. What I'm about to show y'all gets worse. 13. Let's read that again, y'all, because it gets worse. Throughout the trial, the defense revised its trial strategy in reliance upon the agreement. Absent the agreement, the defense intended to cross-examine each memorial student witness the prosecution called about Austin and Hunter Metcalf's character and reputation for violence, for being bullies, and for racism. The defense also intended to cross-examine these witnesses about various statements they made to the police on April 2nd, 2025 regarding Austin and Hunter Metcalf being easily triggered, having a loud mouth, and being passionate and not allowing themselves to be disrespected. Some specific examples include, and I quote, this is what they told the cops on that day, the witnesses, y'all. Austin's a really big guy. Remember they talked about the size discrepancy? Well, you had witnesses at the scene that said, hey man, Austin's a big guy. Ain't that what Carmelo Anthony's legal team and they were saying about the size discrepancy and why he felt like this was self-defense? This is all very important to this case. All this is left out of the case, y'all. This is what y'all have to understand. All this, I'm telling y'all right now, is left out of the case. So how can the jury give a legit verdict when the lawyer have allowed this shit to be placed out of the case? You have disarmed your client. Think about this, y'all. So the specific examples include Austin's a really big guy. And he's kind of like the aggressive guy on the team, right? So that would mean if you took this statement and the statement that Austin Metcalf's mama said, well, she said, oh, he's a kind of relaxed one. That's not what the classmate said. The classmate said he's aggressive. When the mama went on the interview with the son, when this first happened, the mama was saying, yeah, Austin, he's like the, calm one, and Hunter, he's like the real aggressive. Remember? They even had a situation with them cheerleaders where these dudes were saying my hands is bisexual, according to the cheerleaders. And the rumors that was going on surrounding them cheerleaders, and that whole email where the mama went online and addressed that with Hunter Metcalf. Right? And the cheerleaders complaining about their own cheerleaders was complaining about the Metcalf twins. Come on now, come on now. Check this out. So it says Austin got the same way that he got during the altercation. This is quotes from the witnesses. Austin got the same way that he got during the altercation. Is the same way he got with some of us. Bro, that's game over, bro. If you have a witness that goes on the stand, y'all, and says that in front of the jury, they're done. They're saying that Austin, he do the same shit with us that he did with Carmelo. Do y'all not see this? They took all this off the table. This is demonic work, bro. Bro, you can't make this shit up, bro. You can't. These are the quotes that was given to the police that they didn't even use in court. How can you win a case when you're leaving all the truth out? Now what you do is you open the internet for people to have to make up lies because all these people, they knew Carmelo was done wrong and they wanted a solution so bad they lied. When they didn't have to lie. The truth is all right here in the paperwork. Truth is all right here in the paperwork. And I'm going to show you that they lied. And I have proof that they lied about seeing those videos too. I'm going to show y'all that too in a minute. Because they don't even know. It's proof that they all lied. All of them that got the emails and went down there to see the video is digital footprints and video footage of what they looked at. They don't even know. They lied. That's why when everybody got mad at me for calling them liars, Ticket, why are you calling them liars, Ticket? They know what they saw. No, they're liars because they dumbasses didn't know that they have video footage down there of when they went to go see the actual video. And the video that they saw was the same video we saw. That little grainy video that couldn't nobody see shit. Yeah. They have them when they signed in and everything. I got all the evidence to that. Oh yeah, I got all the proof. All the proof, y'all. And I'm going to show y'all right now in a few minutes. Anyways, like it says. So Austin got the same way that he got during the altercation. Is the same way he got with some of us. Think about this. So the kid that was on his team said, man, Austin was doing that shit with us. Now read this, y'all. And I quote, the mellow kid, something or whatever, and then Austin kind of got triggered. So his own teammates are saying that Austin the one that got triggered. Peep this. They told the cops this shit. Now, all this was left out of the case. That's why his parents was on the interview with the Breakfast Club crying, saying that they all got on the stand and changed their stories. And Megyn Kelly demonized the parents, making the parents seem like they were playing the victim and lying, when now it's being revealed that these were the actual statements to the police. Defamation of character, Megyn Kelly. Libel and slander. You're done, Megyn. And you said they were trying to play the race card, Megyn. Ooh. And the parents knew. The parents couldn't talk about it before the case or during the case. You know why? Because the judge put a gag order. Judge put a gag order. So the parents couldn't talk about it before or during the case. They had to wait till after their son was sentenced to 35 years in prison to be able to come out and talk about it. And then had people like Megyn Kelly and Nancy Grace demonizing them. Oh yeah, it's true. Oh yes, it's true. Let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going. So, watch this, y'all. It says, another quote they gave the police, y'all. Austin and Hunter, they're not going to let you disrespect them. And Austin, he's like a big guy. So nobody really wants to fight him. Shout out to my boy Hot Rod in the building, always showing up, showing love, man. Salute to my brother out there holding down for all of us, man, and making sure that we in a good place, good space, and good area, man. Stay safe out there, brother. Much love to you. And Austin, read this, y'all, a really passionate guy. And Jose told the police, listen now, this is the cherry on top, y'all. Please smash the like button when y'all see this and share the video. This is the cherry on top right here, y'all. Jose told the police about Austin Metcalf's history of fighting. So Austin Metcalf, this to all you little stone cold racists that been saying, oh, the case is over with, dude. This is close and shut case, dude. No, dude. I got evidence for you, dude. Jose, good old Jose, he told the police about Austin's history of fighting and almost getting kicked off the football team for fighting. Ooh, y'all didn't know that during the trial. None of this, the jury didn't hear any of this information. Think about this. This man told the cops, Jose told the cops, y'all, that Austin had a history of fighting and almost got kicked off the football team for fighting. Now, why didn't the mama and daddy tell Megyn Kelly and Nancy Grace that? I wonder why. Megyn Kelly, you got to come out them pockets, baby. You better hope the parents don't see. Y'all send this to Carmelo Anthony parents. They better hope his parents don't see this. They have any lawyer worth they salt. That lady went out not only on her channel but on her website and slandered the parents after they did that Breakfast Club interview, screaming about the racism. Why? Because Megyn Kelly just didn't know. And now that the paperwork has came out, have you seen Megyn Kelly or Nancy Grace doing a retraction from all of that slanderous shit they said about this man? Nope. And it's all right here in the paperwork, in the sworn affidavit, y'all. Look at it, y'all. Jose told the police about Austin's history of fighting and almost getting kicked off the football team for fighting. This was told to the cops. And I quote, I've known Austin for a while, and if Austin is about to get into a fight, you can tell. Austin can be a bit aggressive at times. Remember they tried to tell y'all that it was Carmelo Anthony that went over there and started this shit? Now imagine if the court would have heard that no, it was Austin being aggressive. Now the self-defense comes into complete play. And we got a whole different case. And he has a bolder mouth sometimes. This is what he told the cops. Wasn't put in the court, y'all. Now listen to this, y'all. Number 15. This is the part where it gets diabolical, even worse. If the prosecution did not call any of these witnesses, the defense was ready to call them during the defense's case in chief and question them as hostile witnesses. Now, let me ask y'all a question. I'm going to get y'all knowledge up. Listen to this. Why do they call them hostile witnesses? They call them hostile witnesses because normally they will be witnesses for the prosecution. But because of their statements to the police, you would use them as your witnesses as well because they can't go back on what they said to the police. So basically a hostile witness, you guys, is somebody that's the other side's witness. It's not your witness, right? So if you call, for example, if the defense called Hunter Metcalf to the stand, he's a hostile witness because that's not your witness you're calling. You're calling a witness that would have been for the other side. So that explains to everybody who doesn't know what a hostile witness is. And we should have nearly 1,000 likes. Please smash the like button because we got a lot of racists that's coming around here, bro, and they don't want this to get out. I promise y'all that. Furthermore, the defense, listen to this, y'all. Furthermore, the defense intended to call witnesses familiar with Austin and Hunter Metcalf's reputation for violence and bullying. Changes the whole parameters of this case. The defense intended, listen y'all, to call witnesses who themselves were victims. They had victims of the Metcalf twins. Never got showed in court. That right there is a difference between Carmelo Anthony being free today and doing 35 years in a box, my nigga. Let me repeat that again. Megyn Kelly, you and Nancy Grace, disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I'm going to call you out. I'm going to call y'all out. Because I seen y'all. They even had, and I double dog dared Megyn Kelly, and I'm going to tell y'all something. I had a half a mind. I need to, if I didn't know they had a retrial, because they probably won't say nothing to get a retrial. They'll call them up during the retrial. If it wasn't no retrial, call them up on my channel if I can find their ass and let them testify on here. Look at this, y'all. The defense intended to call witnesses who themselves were victims of the Metcalf twins' violence and bullying. So they even had people who were victims of these two boys that was going to testify against them in the court under the penalty of perjury, my nigga. That would have destroyed the whole case. That would have destroyed the whole case. Case over. We ain't got nothing to talk about. The case would have been over with, my nigga. If they would have called those witnesses, and no witnesses come on the stand and say, hey, man, he assaulted me, man. They beat me up, man. He bullied me, man. We ain't even, bro, what else we got to talk about? The fact that Carmelo Anthony's lawyer allowed himself to do a deal with the prosecution that took all of this out of the court case. And to see that boy get 35 years and everybody running around here talking about, oh, man, how was the jury supposed to do anything else when they didn't see any of this? Remember, the jury didn't see any of this. All this shit, I'm telling y'all, happened behind the scenes. And that's why I tell y'all, stop listening to people who lie on the internet, bro. All these people talking about 2, 3 knives on, bro, these people lying their ass off, man. They throwing D's on shit, bro. The truth is right here in this paperwork. The truth was enough. The fact that these dudes had this on their resume, that was enough to get their ass up out of here. If Mike would have just did his damn job and not did no deal, Carmelo Anthony will be free today. If he would have took them sky up and said, I don't give a fuck what y'all bring up. If Carmelo Anthony got triple booty, I don't care if Carmelo Anthony if he had triple booty X on his phone. He's an 18-year-old teenager. Right? Okay, if he got suspended one time for bringing a knife to school, guess what I'm going to put him on the stand and do? I'm going to ask him why you had a knife on you at school, man. And guess what he's probably going to say? Man, I'm in fear, man, if I'm bullied, man. And guess what? I got the evidence to back it up. 200,000 high school students per month. Y'all look this up. Don't listen to me. Look this up, you guys. 200,000 high school students per month in the United States of America take a knife or a gun to school. And all these parents coming out here talking all this shit about why he had a knife, and some of their kids got a knife. Right now they was taking a knife to school this year, and they ain't even know it. Or a gun. And they didn't even know it. Don't take my word for it. Y'all look that up. Look that statistic up, and you're like, somebody block this Shaquille Oatmeal guy. Block his ass. One of my moderators block his ass. Right? Listen to what I'm saying to y'all now. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Y'all have to peep game and understand what I'm saying to y'all. Right? Peep what I'm saying to y'all now. So, check this out, y'all. So, they were going to call the witnesses who were victims of the Metcalf twins. Why didn't the mama and the daddy tell y'all about this? Why didn't the mama and daddy tell y'all that the prosecution had witnesses that were victims of their son's alleged violence and abuse? Bullying. Think about this, y'all. Hold on, y'all. I gotta block this dude, man. I told, why do I have moderators if y'all ain't blocking this bum right here? Hold on, get this dude out of here, bro. He gotta go, man. Let me get him out of here, bro. You gotta go, dog. You gotta go. Straight up, bro. I'm gonna sing you a lullaby, bro. Y'all smash the like button, too. Y'all smash the like button. I'm sending this dude a lullaby, bro. He got to go. You out of here. Weezy out of here. Get your ass out of here, bro. So, anyways, like I said to you guys, right? Now, read this next one, y'all. This is even crazier, y'all. The defense intended to question the Memorial High School teachers about the Metcalf twins' disciplinary history contained in their school records. They had their school records, y'all. Remember I told y'all, why didn't they go pull the school records? They did. They did a deal with the devil to make sure it never saw the light of day in that court case. This is disgusting work, bro. Listen to this again, y'all. You can't say this shit. Listen to this, y'all. The defense intended to question Memorial High School teachers. They went and got this nigga's teachers, bro. Imagine they would have got... I want y'all to think about this. This case is a whole different case. If in court you can show that they are violent, bullies, racist, and not only that, you called victims of theirs, and not only that, you called teachers of theirs. Right? Right? To testify about the Metcalf twins' disciplinary history contained in their school records, which corroborated their character for violence and bullying. Game over, bro. Bro, any worth they salt, any jury could not find this dude guilty without beyond a reasonable doubt. He'd have walked out of that courthouse. This is why I tell y'all, don't ever accept people lying to y'all on the internet. Black folks, don't do it. The truth is always enough. I promise y'all, the truth is enough. It's always enough. People out here throwing D's on this case. It's disgusting. I seen the clear tape, man. He was getting jumped, man, by 3, 4, 5 p.m. I'm telling you, man. They was beating him up in the head with a bottle, all kind of shit, man. They had a mark on all that, man. Stop lying. Y'all, all y'all niggas lying. The truth is right here in the paperwork. The truth is right here in the paperwork. It's right here in the paperwork. They were going to call this man's teachers up there, y'all, to corroborate their character and their school records, which stated violence and bullying with these 2 kids. And finally, y'all, this right here, y'all, is the tip of the iceberg. And finally, y'all, the defense intended to elicit testimony about the Metcalf twins' arrest. Arrest, y'all. Arrest. 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 Read this, y'all. Arrest for racist graffiti. Game over. That's why Megyn Kelly's done. Megyn Kelly said in her article and on YouTube that the parents and Carmelo Anthony supporters tried to play the victim in the race card, when Carmelo Anthony's lawyers had evidence of the Metcalf twins' arrest for racism. That right there is libel and slander any day of the week. And Megyn Kelly, your ass is done. And I got you. I got you. I got your ass, Megyn Kelly. I got you, because I never forgot when you said that. I never forgot when you said that. And guess what? I was quiet, because I had to be quiet. I needed the proof. I needed the proof. And now we got it. Now we got it. Somebody asked, I guarantee the daddy won't speak now. I guarantee the daddy ain't going to say nothing else. The mama, she ain't going to say nothing else either. Because now that this is out, why? Everybody got to ask yourself a question listening to this video. Why isn't this all over the front page of the news? Think about this. This should be on every major news station out. Why isn't this on Fox, ABC, NBC, CNN, that the Metcalf twins were arrested for racist graffiti? Why? This is out in the open now. It's in the paperwork. That changes everything. It changes everything. They were going to call, listen, and finally, the defense intended to elicit testimony about the Metcalf twins' arrest for racist graffiti. So imagine what Carmelo Anthony was going to say, said to him that day under that tent. Oh, you know, that kid's talking shit. And what if they said something that, you know, oh yeah. Because see, let me tell y'all something. For self-defense, all Carmelo Anthony would have to prove is that he felt like that they were going to converge on him as a group, which I legitimately feel he felt. And that right there would have classified as a self-defense. And then all this other shit I'm showing y'all is icing on the cake. Just to show y'all what type of people these dudes are. Violent, bullies, racist. And the daddy showed y'all what time was he went on a full racist rant. The daddy went on a full racist rant. And so now it explains why the daddy was so worried. He went over there and said, yeah, let's have prayer. Went over there to talk with the family. Right? If you had such good in your heart, you the daddy, why go on a racist rant like that? That would never be in your spirit. That would never be in your soul. But the fact that you let that out, you expose yourself. You expose yourself. Think about that, y'all. And here's what, y'all. Y'all know something? When I read this about this racist graffiti, this arrest, I looked high and low to try to find the arrest record. But you know what? You couldn't find the arrest record because for juveniles, they seal their records. So the mainstream media would not have known. because their records are sealed as juvenile. You can't get their juvenile record. Right? You can't get their juvenile arrest record. You can't get their juvenile arrest record. People, I'm telling y'all now. I want y'all to listen to what I'm saying to y'all. So that is the only reason why I don't have documentation of that arrest. Because the juvenile records are sealed in Texas. If I would have had that, boy, I tell you what, boy. I tell you what. But they were going to present this in court. They were going to present it in court. Right? Read number 16. In good faith reliance upon the agreement, the defense did none of this. So they didn't bring any of these witnesses. Right? Because they thought they had an agreement with the prosecution, with the devil. This is why you never do a deal with the devil. The defense even limited its question of witnesses about statements they had made about Metcalf twins being triggered, having a loud mouth, being passionate, and etc. that had been deemed to be allowed under the agreement in an abundance of caution to avoid opening the door. Furthermore, because the prosecution made it very clear that the defense calling any psychology-related expert would open the door. So they even say, yo, if you bring a psychology expert, deal is off. Think about this, y'all. Crazy situation, y'all. Think about what I'm saying to y'all, right? Then it goes on to say this, you guys. Check it out, y'all. So it says, to character, reputation, or extraneous evidence pertaining to Carmelo, the defense chose not to designate any experts and ultimately chose not to call as a witness a neuro psychologist to discuss how Carmelo Anthony's epilepsy impacted his perception of threat and response. They had a neuropsychologist. Remember, I told y'all this 3 weeks ago. Go look at my video on this channel about Carmelo's epilepsy. I said, why didn't they have these specialists? I asked these questions. They eliminated them from having all this in court, y'all. And the neuropsychologist was going to discuss how Carmelo Anthony's epilepsy impacted his perception of threat and response as it is relevant to self-defense. And the forensic psychologist, y'all, to discuss both brain development of a 17-year-old as well as the fight or flight response as it applied to Carmelo Anthony's actions. Right? Think about this, y'all. As a result of this revision in defense strategy, the defense did not go into these subjects during voir dire or opening statement. Without such an agreement, or if the defense had suspected that the state would violate the agreement, the defense would have explored these subjects during voir dire and would have introduced these topics during his opening statement. In sentencing, in reliance upon the agreement, the defense did not designate an expert who was ready to testify regarding mitigation. That means things that would have helped lower his sentence, meaning a risk assessment and psychological profile of Carmelo Anthony. Furthermore, in reliance upon the agreement, the defense severely limited its available character witnesses to just 3 questions of Carmelo Anthony's mother, which had previously been agreed on by the prosecution. That's insane, bro. This dude's a damn fool. Other than the general character testimony and pleas for mercy, in reliance upon the agreement, the defense also did not go into substantial family violence. Mr. Anthony had, y'all, this is crazy, bro. Look at this, y'all. This shows y'all a whole lot. It says the defense also did not go into substantial family violence that Carmelo Anthony had witnessed and been a victim of in his home. That's sad, bro. That broke my heart, man. That broke my heart, bro. They're saying not only was this boy allegedly a witness of substantial family violence, but he was a victim as well, y'all. Carmelo Anthony. The world never got to know this until now. That breaks my spirit. Let me read that again, y'all. Let me read that again. Other than general character testimony and pleas for mercy and reliance upon the agreement, the defense also did not go into substantial family violence Mr. Anthony had witnessed and been a victim of in his home. So when everybody said, why he carry a knife? Why he carry a knife? They're saying this boy was a victim of family violence in his own home. And he witnessed this in his own home. That's saddening, man. That is truly saddening. It goes on to say that breaks my heart, man. And all this has been exposed. This is all the truth now that's being exposed to the world. This is sad, bro. Now it's saying on Saturday, June the 6th, 2026, after the prosecution rested its case in chief, the defense called witnesses Adam Linwood, Jeremiah Smith, and Jose Andres Ramos Mora before the ending of the day and late afternoon, early evening, right? This is just sad, bro. It's sad. And then, like I said right here, look at this, y'all. They had a person that was going to come in, and I want to read this part to y'all. During the 10:30 a.m. break in the back hallway outside the judge's chambers, the judge asked us for an update about timing, how many more witnesses, etc. I explained that the next witnesses the defense had planned to call was a Centennial high school coach. Mr. Worski asked what the coach would testify to. So they're trying to ask about his testimony too. Think about this, y'all. And did not pertain to Carmelo Anthony's character. Right? I explained that the coach had witnessed Carmelo Anthony's seizures, y'all. So he would testify about Carmelo Anthony's epilepsy based on his personal knowledge. Mr. Worski then argued that testimony about epilepsy was irrelevant at the guilt, innocence, and to the extent it was relevant, would open the door to character, reputation, and extraneous evidence against Anthony. In plain terms, it would breach the agreement. I stated that I disagreed, explaining how it was relevant to Carmelo Anthony's state of mind pertaining to self-defense, and that it did not relate to character, reputation, or extraneous evidence in any way. But Judge Roach agreed with Mr. Worski that he thought testimony about epilepsy was not Judge Roach. Think about this, y'all. The judge got involved. Judge Roach agreed with Mr. Worski that he thought the testimony about epilepsy was not relevant during the guilt, innocence, and would open the door to character, reputation, and extraneous evidence. Judge is sad, man. That judge is disgusting. The judge, they all three of them disgusting, bro. Based on this, I informed the court, I would not call the coach, and that I would anticipate having one or two more witnesses before I would call Carmelo Anthony. In response to the judge's question about likelihood that Carmelo Anthony testified, I told the judge that we would need to confer with Carmelo Anthony about his Fifth Amendment decision regarding to testify, but that I was 99% sure he would testify. In fact, testify. After the break, back in the court before the jury, right, to give Bleep more time to arrive at court, we then called Frisco Police Department Detective Riley to testify. After Detective Riley finished testifying, I decided not to call Bleep as a witness, and we broke early for lunch around 11:17 a.m. And the prosecution and defense team stayed behind to talk to the judge outside of the jury's presence. On the way back to chambers, Mr. Worski mentioned to Mr. Shook, that's the assistant lawyer for Carmelo, from his perspective that I had already opened the door to character, reputation, and extraneous evidence pertaining to Carmelo Anthony by saying that Carmelo Anthony was a member of the chess club. During my opening statement, I did not say anything about a chess club at any time. During my opening, I said that Carmelo Anthony played chess during my background description of him and his hobbies. Mr. Worski also stated that from his perspective, the agreement did not cover a testifying defendant. they changed the rules. Now he's saying, nah, that nigga can't testify now. But that's crazy, y'all. Mr. Shook alerted me, and Mr. Worski, Mr. Mitchell, Mr. Shook, and I stood in the well of the courtroom, and Mr. Worski repeated these statements, adding that the prosecution never thought that the case, right, or that the defense would call Carmelo Anthony to testify. Back in the judge's chambers, Mr. Worski repeated his assertion, that the agreement between the prosecution and defense never contemplated a testifying defendant. He elaborated, stating that he had never thought we were calling Carmelo Anthony as a witness. Boy, they some liars, bro. He also repeated his claim that I had already, quote-unquote, violated the agreement during my opening statement by saying that Carmelo Anthony was a member of the chess club. It is important to note that this was the first time that Mr. Worski mentioned that he believed I had violated the agreement days earlier by mentioning that Carmelo Anthony played chess during my opening statement. Although the prosecution and defense teams had conferred many times throughout the prosecution's case in chief about various issues, this was the first time Mr. Worski brought up this assertion. Judge Roach told both the prosecution and defense teams that my mentioning chess during the opening statement definitely did not open the door to character, reputation, and extraneous evidence applicable to Mr. Anthony. The parties argued about whether the agreement between the parties covered Carmelo Anthony testifying. The prosecution repeated their position that it did not, and that if we called Carmelo to testify, character, reputation, and extraneous evidence pertaining to Carmelo Anthony were in play. Furthermore, Mr. Worski stated at the time that the prosecution, already having rested character, reputation, and extraneous evidence pertaining to Austin and Hunter Metcalf, was not relevant. When Mr. Shook and I mentioned the ambiguous aggressor rule from Torres, Mr. Worski argued that Torres did not apply because it was not ambiguous who the first aggressor was. That the first aggressor was clearly Austin Metcalf. Not a group of people like y'all said. It was Austin Metcalf, like I told you. It's right here in the paperwork. At this point, the discussion devolved into a shouting match. Right? He said after the break of the down of the agreement, the defense and the prosecution teams agreed to take a 10-minute cool-off before attempting to renegotiate parameters for how the agreement could extend to Mr. Anthony's testimony. Should the defense now choose to call him after the 10-minute cooling-off period, Mr. Worski and I met in open court, outside the presence of the jury and without the public in the room, to discuss possible parameters for the agreement covering Carmelo Anthony's testimony. Given Mr. Worski's expansive view of what he considered would be open the door to character, reputation, and extraneous evidence pertaining to Carmelo Anthony, especially his repeated claim, even after the judge stated otherwise, that even my mention of playing chess opened the door to character, I resolved that only my choice was to go over my planned outline of Carmelo Anthony's direct examination line by line with Mr. Worski to determine what and would not, in Mr. Worski's view, open the door. I have never taken such a drastic step of previewing my strategy and even my questions with a prosecutor. But as a defense team, we agreed that we had no other option if we wanted to try to reach an agreement and understanding with Mr. Worski of how the renegotiated agreement would cover Carmelo Anthony's testimony. As I went through my outline with Mr. Worski standing, reading the outline over my shoulder, Mr. Worski declared various subjects that in his view would open the door to character, reputation, and extraneous evidence pertaining to Carmelo Anthony. During this discussion, Mr. Worski repeated his claim that my earlier mention of chess opened the door. While I disagreed with all of Mr. Worski's assertions of subjects that would open the door, I agreed to cut them from my questioning in hopes of salvaging the agreement to keep Mr. Anthony's extraneous offenses out if he testified. At the end of this discussion, with the understanding that Mr. Worski would extend me leeway to lead Mr. Anthony more than normal through certain aspects of the testimony, and an abundance of caution to avoid opening the door, Mr. Worski and I informed Judge Roach that we had come to an agreement as to how the renegotiated agreement will cover Carmelo Anthony's testimony. We then summarized the process we had just gone through in our renegotiated agreement on the record prior to breaking the allow the defense to retire to the defense room to discuss the issue with Mr. Anthony and his parents. Judge Roach informed us that he was aware of no mechanism at his disposal to enforce the agreement between the parties. Furthermore, Judge Roach informed us that he saw no way for Carmelo Anthony to testify without the door being open. For example, he said that if he brought the knife by accident or said that he was scared, etc., that this would almost certainly open the door to his character, reputation, and extraneous evidence of some sort. To clarify the issue, I proposed the hypothetical scenario that if Mr. Worski claimed that the agreement had been breached in some way, if I and even the judge felt that Mr. Worski was operating in bad faith, that the judge was stating that he could not enforce the agreement, would have to make a ruling based on the Texas rules of evidence alone, and that in all likelihood, check this out, y'all, the door would have been open. Judge Roach confirmed that this was the case. When we broke to discuss the issue with our client, Judge Roach gave us approximately 10 minutes to explain the breakdown of the agreement and the proposed resolution with our client before the judge brought Mr. Anthony in for on-the-record admonishment. During the initial pre-admonishment meeting with Mr. Anthony and his parents, I did my best to explain everything that had just happened with the help of Toby Shook and the other attorney. We then returned to the courtroom for Judge Roach to admonish Mr. Anthony about his Fifth Amendment rights and to also explain if he testifies that Judge Roach believed he had no mechanism to enforce the agreement between the parties and would rule on the rules of evidence alone as to whether the door had been opened. Judge Roach gave us 10 minutes to discuss his Fifth Amendment rights with Mr. Anthony and help him ultimately decide whether he would testify. I asked for additional time to have such a complicated discussion with a 19-year-old in the most stressful situation of his life, but Judge Roach declined to extend our time beyond 10 minutes. Again, we did our best to explain everything, the pros, the cons of testifying versus not testifying, the likelihood of winning on self-defense if he testified versus if he did not, the likelihood of whether we would get instructions in the jury charge or lesser included charges of manslaughter and criminally negligent homicide if he did and if he did not testify, and the likelihood of whether we could get instructions in the sentencing jury charge if we got there on certain passion if he did and if he did not testify. During that discussion, you guys, beyond all the above, the most complicating factor of all was whether Mr. Worski would claim that we had opened the door and to bring Mr. Anthony's extraneous, offensive, bad acts, character, and reputation. Based on his actions and claims, specifically repeated assertions, even after the judge had firmly disagreed that I opened the door by even mentioning chess, as well as his general claim that the agreement had never contemplated Mr. Anthony testifying, despite the plain meaning of the words Mr. Worski himself repeatedly used to describe the agreement, the defense team felt strongly that the risk of Mr. Worski claiming the door had been opened was too high. This was amplified by the fact that Judge Roach made it clear that should Mr. Worski claim a breach of the agreement, he felt he was unable to enforce it and that in all likelihood the door would have been open. At the end of the 10 minutes, y'all, despite our request for additional time, Judge Roach called us back in the courtroom to announce Carmelo Anthony's decision and proceed with the trial. Ultimately, Carmelo Anthony chose not to testify. This 180-degree change in the defense strategy was a direct consequence of the breach of the agreement. The breach of the agreement affected all aspects of the defense case. By the time that the agreement was breached, it was too late to change our approach and voir dire an opening, and too late to ask different questions of the prosecution's witnesses, and too risky to recall those witnesses. To ask questions that would risk the prosecution deciding we had reopened the door or opened the door, it greatly hampered our strategy during sentencing, causing us to decide not to call witnesses we otherwise would call, and severely limiting the questions asked of the one witness we did, in fact, call. The prosecution's breach of the agreement directly significantly undermined the defense's ability to present a complete defense. Signed, Mike Howard. Bro, this is sad, bro. And stamped. That's his sworn affidavit, man. It is disgusting, bro. And Megyn Kelly, they had the evidence in there that that boy had been arrested for racism, and Megyn Kelly went out. And it has to be stated, y'all, what Megyn Kelly did. It has to be stated what Megyn Kelly did, you guys. Megyn Kelly went out and pushed this slop, y'all. Absolute disgusting. Just disgraceful for Megyn Kelly. And not only Megyn Kelly, Nancy Grace. Right? Because Nancy Grace, you guys, she came out running her mouth too. Right? Nancy Grace came out running her mouth too. Right? But let's finish talking about what Megyn Kelly said. So Megyn Kelly said that they was trying to use the race card. Right? She criticized Carmelo Anthony's parents. Right? Accusing them, like I said, of playing the victim and stuff like that. Telling them they ain't victims. Right? Saying that the Metcalfs were the victims. Right? She called Anthony's father a race hustler for continuing to talk about race and alleged structural racism following a 35-year prison sentence. She noted that no evidence presented in court supported the claim that race played any role in the stabbing. Well, guess what? There was not, because the lawyer made a deal. So the fact that Megyn Kelly said that, sue her ass, nigga. Sue her ass. Sue her ass. Megyn Kelly also blasted civil rights activists and media outlets for allowing what she said the family to spew lies and push a fake narrative about an all-white jury and racial bias, arguing that ignoring physical evidence undermines the justice system. This is all the stuff Megyn Kelly said. Megyn Kelly and her legal guests criticized Carmelo Anthony's original trial defense attorney for delivering a poor courtroom performance and failing to present a viable, cohesive self-defense argument. Right? I'm telling y'all this. Then, once they got their new high-profile appellate legal team, Megyn Kelly publicly criticized the new team strategy, targeting their immediate filings for his release and highlighting what she described as a checkered past of the lawyers involved. Now, as far as Nancy Grace is concerned, right? Nancy Grace had deep criticism of Carmelo Anthony as well, right? On her program Crime Stories. She heavily had covered this situation, right? And she basically criticized Carmelo Anthony's legal defense for trying to claim stand your ground on self-defense laws. And she had her legal panel argue that the act of bringing a deadly knife to a high school sporting event inherently proved implicit intent of aggression rather than a split-second protective reaction. She also repeatedly underscored that the jury took only 3 hours to reject the defense's sudden heat of passion claims, and she pointed out that critical DNA evidence and a witness testimony left no room for a justifiable self-defense narrative. Also, she came out, right? And early in the case, she was frustrated when a judge lowered his bond from $1 million to $250,000, but she wasn't mad about stone cold racists that's out here, allowing him to walk free pending trial. She questioned the court's leniency for a suspect accused of stabbing a teenager directly in the heart, and during the bond hearings, the defense highlighted Carmelo Anthony's GPA and status as a football team and track team captain, and she criticized this strategy, right, framing this, arguing that past academic accomplishments and athletic titles don't erase the excuse of a horrific violent act, right? Also, she basically went off and condemned Carmelo Anthony's supporters She called out relentless harassment, including disturbing swatting attacks targeting the home of all the Metcalf family. And she highlighted and stated that there were profound lifelong trauma inflicted on the Austin Metcalf twin brother, who held him as he took his final breath to the track. She criticized the narrative, right, shift by the supporters who attempted to paint Carmelo Anthony as the victim, contrasting it with absolute devastation experienced by the actual victims. She's sick too. Absolutely disgusting individual, right? Both of those two. And I tell y'all something. If I'm the Carmelo Anthony's family, I'm suing both of their ass. Straight up. I'm suing both of their asses. They both getting, if that's me, they both getting sued. Now let's touch on this. The liars. And I'm going to deal with their ass right now. Because y'all the ones who helped mess this case up from a perspective of truth. All these people that was lying on the internet, y'all disgusting. And it's all in the paperwork now too. And I have evidence that y'all lied. And I'm talking about all them people that went on all these YouTube channels lying about, oh, I seen the clear video. I seen the video, man. I saw this clear video. It was in 4K. I saw this. I saw that. They're all liars, y'all. And they're going. I'm telling you where they're going. Thou shalt not lie. I know where they're going. And you can come on here and say, oh, the ticket. They were stone cold lying. And I got undisputed evidence. And guess what? They ain't going to refute this evidence because I'm going to tell you why. They showed y'all the emails of when they requested to go see the video, right? When they went to see the video, what they didn't know is when they were watching that video and being monitored while they're watching that video, they were being recorded watching the video. The video they said that they saw, a clear video, they lied. They saw, because that video never existed. They saw the same video we all saw that was a blurry video. They saw that same video that was on the other side of the track. These people came out and lied and put dubs on this shit because they're stone cold liars. And I have evidence of that today. Multiple people. They explicitly argued that in the chaotic environment, Carmelo Anthony reasonably feared he was about to be attacked by multiple people, causing a split second of fear and chaos, where his fight or flight response kicked in. His new appellate team, which includes attorneys from Ben Crump Law and the Texas NAACP, continues to lean into this context. Right? Right? Listen now. In their July 2026 filings for a retrial, they maintained that he acted, right, under severe physical intimidation by an aggressive group of students. Think about this. Intimidation, not attacks. So one person attacked Carmelo. There was other people who intimidated him, but they lied about this and told you, oh, multiple people beat him up. They're liars. So his trial footage, right? I'm going to show you this right now. His trial lawyer, Mike Howard, did not state that Carmelo Anthony was actually physically attacked by multiple people. Under Texas law, the defense strategy did not claim a full-scale physical assault by a crowd. Instead, the lawyer argued that Carmelo Anthony faced severe physical intimidation. This is what I told y'all. He was intimidated by those group of people, not attacked. He was attacked by one person. He was intimidated by a group of them. And that is enough to cover self-defense in itself. But people had to lie and throw these on that shit and say, oh no, he was attacked. He was attacked by multiple people. Man, I seen it, man. They lied. You wanted to help him in the case, but you didn't need to. You hurt him because you lied. Instead, the lawyer argued that Carmelo Anthony faced severe physical intimidation from multiple athletes in the tent, which caused a split-second fear that he was about to be jumped or ganged on. Right? Fear that he was about to be, not that he was. Regarding the actual physical contact, the defense acknowledged that the physical altercation itself involved a push rather than a group beating like all these people on YouTube was lying about. There was no camera closer to the tent. They all lied, and I have proof about this today. They all said, I went down to the Frisco ISD and seen the video. Guess what? Their names are on the logs. And guess what? They were videoed, and there's video of them in the room watching the actual video. And the video they watched is the same video we all saw. It's proof. And I'm going to show you the proof today that they all lie. They're all liars. And the only reason why they lie is for social media, clicks, views, and fame, and to gain followers. And I'm going to prove it to you today. I'm going to prove it to you. Stone cold liars. People are spreading the narrative that he was attacked by multiple people due to a combination of deliberate disinformation campaigns, intense racial polarization, and the viral nature of social media. Because the trial was completely closed to cameras and microphones, a massive information vacuum opened up. Bad faith actors and automated accounts rushed to fill that void with fabricated details to fit their own narratives. The primary reasons for this false narrative continues to spread include coordinated disinformation accounts. Shortly after the incident, y'all, numerous anonymous and fake accounts were launched on social media. Let me repeat this again. Didn't I tell y'all they set black folks up to make them look stupid in the end and say y'all are all liars? Remember this now. Shortly after the incident, numerous anonymous and fake accounts were launched on social media specifically to alter the public perception. This went as far as the third-party criminal offense, where a user created a fake account impersonating the Frisco police chief to tweet out fabricated facts, falsely claiming that Carmelo Anthony was ambushed and sucker punched by multiple people. Remember they lied to y'all? Oh man, he was getting jumped, man. I seen it, man. You a lying son of a... You a liar. And you know you lying. And y'all sad. Y'all got black folks up here believing this shit. And y'all stone cold lied. That's why the only person I gave respect was Nika at Night. That's the only girl that didn't tell no lie. She didn't tell no, and she was up to the court every day. She was in contact with his team. The only girl that didn't lie was Nika at Night. The rest of them people lied because a lie always go further than the truth. A lie was gonna get you more views. Nika at Night should have had way more views and way more subscribers because she put out the truth. The rest of these people tried to go dirty and put out lies, talking about they ain't cap. No, it's all cap they was putting out. High-profile exploitation in echo chambers. This case became heavily polarized along racial lines because Anthony is black, Metcalf was white. Massive political commentary accounts on X blasted the story out to tens of millions of people. On one side, certain groups used the case to spread highly charged racial rhetoric. On the other side, internet users reacting to that hostility push back over embellishing or straight up fabricating details, like inventing a group physical assault to make Anthony's actions look like an undeniable case of self-defense. That's what I'm telling y'all. They lied because, listen, black folks, they knew Carmelo Anthony was getting done dirty. But a lot of black folks, they felt like it wasn't enough that was out there. So they lied. So that they can make people hear. You didn't have to lie. The truth was gonna be enough. So they put dubs on that shit and lied to everybody. And they lied about the video too. And I'm gonna show y'all. I'm gonna prove to y'all that they lied about that effing video. Disgusting work. So misinterpreting the real defense strategy, right? Right? So the defense, they argued physical intimidation, meaning he felt outnumbered, cornered, and feared an imminent attack. When complex legal jargon about reasonable fear of multiple actors gets filtered through TikTok, X, and Instagram, y'all, the nuance gets completely stripped away. General internet users translate the quote-unquote, he feared a group attack into he was attacked by a group, turning a legal argument into a fake factual claim. Are y'all not hearing this? General AI slop, y'all. Major outlets like Rolling Stone and CBS reported a massive surge of AI-generated images and videos surrounding this trial because these highly emotional, fake depictions look convincing to the untrained eye. People share them as proof, quote-unquote, of events that never actually happened in reality. So when people say, I really seen the video, no, you saw a lie. And you're telling a lie. And to the people who went down and said they went down and they're telling a lie. And I have proof they told a lie. Ultimately, the surveillance video footage released by the Collin County Court put the rumors to rest, proving the physical encounter was an immediate one-on-one confrontation that lasts under 10 seconds. Let's keep going. People are lying about seeing that specific video because they're confusing the real grainy, faraway surveillance footage with fake, highly detailed AI generated reactions or recreations, circulating on TikTok, Instagram, and X. There are three primary reasons this specific lie about the clear video from the Frisco ISD has spread so rapidly. I tried to tell y'all all this information, man. Y'all didn't want to listen to me. The real footage is extremely grainy and far away. Frisco ISD provided 5 camera angles from the stadium. However, the primary camera capturing the incident was positioned way across the field near the press box. When investigators used forensic software to zoom into the yellow team tent, the footage became incredibly pixelated and grainy. Inside the tent itself, the actual physical confrontation is almost entirely obscured and difficult to see. It is impossible to see a clear multi-person beating on the real footage because the footage does not literally exist. People are watching AI slop and recreations and thinking they are real because the real surveillance footage is hard to make out. Social media creators and AI slop accounts flooded platforms with artificial content. They use generative AI tools to create crystal clear, photorealistic, but completely fake videos and images depicting a large-scale brawl under a track tent. Millions of casual internet users watch these hyper-detailed AI animations, didn't notice the lack of an AI label, and mistakenly assumed they were watching the official, unreleased, clear Frisco ISD stadium tape. Texas open record laws fueled the rumors before the trial. Long before the trial took place, Frisco ISD allowed people to request to view the surveillance video under the strict Texas open record laws. Requesters could look at the video in person but were strictly forbidden from recording it on their phones because the public couldn't see the actual video online. For over a year, people who wanted to defend Carmelo Anthony went on the social media and claimed, "I saw the clear video at Frisco ISD and it shows them getting jumped." Since no one could clip the video to prove them wrong, the lie spread unchecked. When the Collin County Court officially released the actual trial evidence and surveillance footage, it proved those accounts were lying. The real video simply shows Carmelo Anthony entering the tent, quick movements that the prosecution proved was a single push from Metcalf, getting him to leave, and Anthony immediately running away down the bleachers after the stabbing. Let's keep going. These people lied to y'all. Look, and I got proof. I ain't finished. I'm about to show y'all this. Frisco ISD officially released the restricted stadium footage. We already talked about this. I ain't even gotta go into this. Y'all already talked about this. Hold on. I'm about to show y'all this, right? Hold on. Let me go. Because I'm gonna show y'all. Hold on. Right? Hold on. The people pushing this conspiracy theory are lying. Let me repeat myself again. They're lying, right? To respect or to protect, their own online credibility and keep the viral quote-unquote self-defense narrative alive, right? Now it says, right? Listen. Now I'm finna show y'all this. Hold on 1 second, because I'm gonna put this on the screen for y'all. I have to put this on the screen for everybody. You guys have to see this because this next part I'm gonna show y'all is very important. Very. So, like I said, this next part I'm about to show y'all, very important. I want everybody to see this. And this is the reason why I told y'all I'm gonna put this on the screen for y'all, right? This is probably the most important part of the entire video, right? Now, And y'all need to pay attention. Y'all need to pay attention, okay? Because this is very important what I'm going to show y'all and what I'm going to put up here for y'all, all right? And to me, I just hated that people came out here and had to lie like this, man. It's just sad, bro. It's sad. It's sad that people would literally come out and lie, right? Come out and lie about this situation because they didn't need to lie. But let's put this on the screen for y'all, because I only believe in truth. And when people are lying, I'm going to speak out against it. I don't care, bro. I'm going to speak out against. You can call me whatever you want to call me. I'm not a liar. I'm going to speak out against. I'm going to stand on truth, honor, dignity, morals, ethics, and respect, y'all. That's what I'm going to speak out on. Right? So let me put this on here, just so everybody can see what I'm talking about. All right, hold on, you guys. Let's put this out here. Right? 344. 344 right here. Let's go. Now, y'all see this, right? Hold on. Is this it? No, hold on. Let me see what number this is. Oh, no, it's 38. All right, so that's 38. Hold on. I need to go back. That's 38. I need to go to 39. Let me go to 39. Right here. Right here. 39. Now, y'all all seeing this, right? I'm showing y'all this. Look on y'all screen. I'm showing everybody this plain and clear. Right? Plain and clear, I'm showing everybody this. Check it out, y'all. So the secret tape excuse protects their reputation. Before the trial, many social media influencers, activists, and commentators built massive audiences. Think about these people that got all these views and all these subscribers offline, y'all. Weavy Wonder and all the rest of them lied to y'all every day, making up new lies to have more people in their channels. Before the trial, many social media influencers, activists, and commentators built massive audiences by claiming they had inside knowledge or had personally viewed a clear video under open records law. When the real grainy 10-second video was released to the public, it proved they were either misinformed or lying. To avoid losing their followers and credibility, they claim the government is pulling a cover-up and releasing fake or downgraded version of the tape, exploiting the in-person legal loophole. Because Texas open record laws originally forced people to view the video in person at the Frisco ISD building without phones or recording devices, it created a perfect scenario for liars. They know that because the phone recording was strictly banned, there is no physical way for a regular citizen to prove exactly what pixel looked like on the monitor that day. They exploit this lack of phone footage to claim, trust me, and I quote, the monitor I looked at showed a completely different high-definition view. Liars. Liars. Low-down liars. Low-down liars. Let's keep going, y'all. Misunderstanding basic video comprehension. When Frisco ISD showed the video privately on their internal network, it was being played directly from the original source files on the local computer monitor. When that same video is exported for the public, broadcast on the news, or compressed through TikTok and X algorithms, the quality drops even further, making it look like a different video to someone who doesn't understand technology. Conspiracy theorists weaponize this normal video pixelization as proof of a cover-up. It fits the pre-existing systemic cover-up narrative, but because this case became intensely polarized along racial and political lines, many people are deeply distrustful of the police and the school district, claiming that the Frisco ISD is quote-unquote hiding the real footage to protect the victim's identity or convict a black teenager feeds directly into that distrust. It allows people to reject the reality of the jury's verdict, right? And continue believing the versions of events they want to be true, right? 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 Not telling the truth, but telling a lie, just a lie. And get subscribers, get followers. Then once they see how many people was looking at them, let me keep lying so I can get more followers. This is the shit they was doing. It's disgusting. So there is legal, definitive, legal, technical, and procedural proof that the video shown privately at the Frisco ISD is the exact same grainy, long-range footage that was released to the public. The people that are claiming, y'all, that they saw a secret high-definition video of a group assault are categorically lying. Under Texas law and school district protocols, it is impossible for Frisco ISD to have shown a different video file. The 3 airtight ways to prove those individuals are lying include what I'm about to show y'all right now. 1. The legal chain of custody and subpoena logs. Under the Texas Public Information Act, Frisco ISD is legally required to log every piece of digital evidence tied to a specific incident. When the school district compiled the security tape from the stadium, it created a single master digital file containing the 5 stadium camera angles. That file was assigned a strict chain of custody log for the murder trial. Frisco ISD could not legally show people a secret video file because every video file in their possession regarding the stabbing had been subpoenaed by the Collin County District Attorney's Office and the defense. Hiding an alternate clear angle while displaying it to random citizens would be a major criminal offense of withholding evidence. Let's keep going though, because I'm finna show y'all something. This is how these people didn't know that they never thought they was going to get caught up in their lies. They always thought they were going to be able to get away with these lies. Identical metadata and timestamp matching, y'all. The definitive proof is the video content itself. When local news journalists from CBS Texas and WFAA went to the Frisco ISD offices to view the footage privately, they published detailed descriptions of exactly what was on the screen. They reported that the video started several minutes before the altercation. They noted the camera was positioned far away near the press box, capturing half the field. They documented the exact sequence, sudden movement of the tent, figures interacting, people running away, and the arrival of the ambulance, right? Now, let's do this right here. This is where they get caught up in their lies, right? This is where they're done, right? They're done, right? I'm talking about they're done. The defense team's own actions in court. If Frisco ISD had a clear close-up high-definition video showing Carmelo Anthony being brutally jumped by multiple athletes, his defense attorneys would have used it as their absolute number one piece of evidence. It would completely cleared him under the murder under Texas self-defense laws. I'm going to show you why it means they're lying. I have proof they're lying. I'm not finished yet, all news. I have 100% proof they're lying, and I can prove it. I'm not finished yet. They're lying, and I'm about to show you why they're lying. You know what? Matter of fact, I'm going to tell you before I get to it, all news 1 through 10. They're lying because when they went to do, and they got they applied and got their email to go view the video, when they were watching the video, they weren't allowed to have phones or cameras. But they had a camera that was watching them, watching what they were watching. And I got all the proof. It's all on the files. So when they lied and said I saw a clear video, they dumbasses didn't know that there was a video that was videoing them watching the video, because they had to keep this evidence that these certain people who were called actually viewed that same video. Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm about to show you right now. I'm about to show you right now, sir. I'm about to show you right now. Matter of fact, let's get right to that. Let's get into that. Let's get into that. See, you can't lie for so long, right? Right? See, look, the rumor starters are banking on the fact that you can't go back in time and look over their shoulder at the monitor that they viewed. However, the legal logs, the matching media timestamps, and the defense's own struggle with the blurry footage prove the public video is the only video that ever existed. Let's keep going. Let's keep going, because you know, when I get them, I'm going to burn their ass out when I get them. To the person who said they've been editing videos, you're not listening. That's not my point about editing videos, asshole like. You need to know your role and shut your damn mouth. They said they saw a certain video. Listen to what I said, buddy. They said they saw a clear video. They're lying because their names is in the paperwork for going to see the video, but the video they saw was the same video everybody else saw, and I got their names on the paperwork. I got their names on the paperwork. I got all their names on the paperwork, the date, the time they went to see them, and when they went in, they had videoing them watching the video, brother man. So that way they couldn't lie. See, they couldn't record it, but they dumbasses didn't know they had videos watching them watch the video, fool. Now let's keep going. That way they couldn't lie about it. And that's the part they didn't know that I'm exposed to the world today. Right? Now listen up. Listen up very carefully. Listen up very carefully. They didn't see anything very differently. They didn't see anything differently. They all lied for social media clout, and you bought it. You bought it hook, line, and sinker. Hook, line, and sinker. You bought it. I'm going to say it again. You bought it hook, line, and sinker. Because that's what they wanted you to do. Right? That's what they wanted you to do. But let's get right to this. I'm going to go ahead and do it for you, right? I'm going to go ahead and do it for you, right? Hold on. Let's get to it. Let me stop playing around, right? Here it is right here. Like virtually all government and school administration buildings in Texas, the Frisco ISD administration offices are heavily monitored by internal building security cameras. These idiots got caught lying, boy. I told y'all I had proof. Any individual who went to the office to privately view the track meet footage was captured on camera multiple times. This internal footage serves as an airtight administrative record that can completely expose these online rumor starters as liars, boy. Remember I told you I don't say that unless I got proof? I don't say that unless I got proof. I don't say that unless I got proof. The security and logging protocols proving who watched the videos and under what exact conditions include, Buster Boy. Let's get right to it. Mandatory visitor registration and security cameras. To even enter a Frisco ISD administrative facility, visitors cannot just walk in and out freely. Under the district's strict visitor vetting protocols, Buster, individuals must stand in front of an entryway security camera, present their valid government-issued photo ID or driver's license, get scanned into the district's electronic visitor management system, which logs their exact legal name, arrival time, and departure time. Boy, let's keep going. Let's keep going. You know, I don't say no on YouTube unless I got proof. Unless I got evidence, sucker. Monitoring the viewing rooms. See how quiet he got? See, you can lie to everybody, but you can't lie when that camera that was behind you that you didn't know was recording you is recording you watching the screen and watching what's on that screen. Oh yeah, buddy. See, this is why you don't never want to go against me, because I'm cut from a different cloth, nigga. When you lie, I'm going to find the truth, boy. Because the footage, stadium footage, was legally restricted and contained sensitive evidence regarding a fatal stabbing, the Frisco ISD officials did not leave the visitors alone in a room with the file. Requesters were escorted to specific viewing areas monitored by school officials, hallway, and room security cameras. Recorded these individuals entering the viewing space, sitting down and looking at the screen and exiting. Thank you, Ticket. Y'all spread this shit on YouTube. They all fucking liars. Every last one of them. Now tell y'all I had evidence that they all liars. What they gonna say now? paperwork too. So when they try to lie about the paperwork, I'm expose their ass too, because I got their names. I got what time they went down there. All that shit. I ain't even finished with you yet. And I'm going to start with the main one who was out there. Right? Let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going, y'all. Let's keep going, y'all. Once again, y'all see it right here. Hallway and room security cameras recorded these individuals entering the viewing space, sitting down, looking at the screen, and exiting. They got them on video while they were watching all of these things to see exactly what they were watching. Let's keep going. How this disproves the secret high-definition video claim. If someone online claims they went to the Frisco ISD and saw a secret, clear, crystal clear close-up video of a group attack, these security records completely destroy their lie. The log evidence, a simple Texas Public of Information Act request, right, can pull the official visitor logs and building camera records for that specific time frame. If a social media influencer claims they watched it at the district office, but their name does not exist in those logs, they never even set foot in the building. Let's keep going. The internal building security cameras track exactly which conference room or terminal was used to fulfill the open records request. They got the cameras, y'all. The IT logs on those specific computers show exact file path that was opened. They have all the evidence of these people. These niggas be lying to y'all, and y'all be going for it on YouTube. And when I show y'all evidence, y'all still get mad. And don't tell me, oh, a ticket, you don't know. Nigga, I got their names. Remember I told y'all I got the paperwork, nigga? Came to the party for the photo, show off my new outfit, and show off my new chick. Remember I told y'all I got the names of all them people that went in there? I got the names. I got the times. I got everything. Anytime. Anytime. See, they thought this evidence was never going to come out. They never thought that good old ticket was going to get his hands on this. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun. Where did I put that at? I want to show y'all this. Where did I put this at? I got the list. I got the list of them names. Where did I put those names at, man? I got the list, man. One of these people y'all know, because he was on YouTube. Man, this nigga was on YouTube lying. And we all know his official name. Hold on, I'm about to show you his name. Say my name, say my name. Put his name up here. Hold on, y'all. Where I see that boy name at? I got him in the paperwork. He think I ain't got him. I got him good. Hold on, y'all. He think I ain't see his name, right? That's what he thought. He thought we ain't see his name, y'all. Okay, it's up here. He thought we ain't see his name. See, they think they can get away with these lies, y'all, because they thought that nobody would be able to dispute what they saw. Ooh, they lying. And I told y'all I got proof. And if I tell you I got proof, you better damn well believe I got proof. You damn well better believe I got proof. Hold on, y'all. Let me pull this up for y'all. Okay, yeah, it was down there. Okay, I know where it's at now. I know one thing, only one like you. There's no way there could have made two. For when I keep forevermore. You're my first, my last, my everything. Y'all see that name right there? Do y'all see that name right there? Let me make sure I blow this name up for y'all. We're going to talk about him today. Y'all see that name right there? Right there outlined in blue. Y'all see that name? Oh, yeah. So when they say, oh, man, what are you talking about, ticket? Oh, yeah. Y'all see that name, right? Right? See, they thought because when they went up there, they went up there. They got the email, and they requested to see the video. Yeah, but you lied about what you saw, and I got proof. Oh, I got proof. Now, y'all see that, right? Y'all see that name, right? It's outlined in blue. Everybody see it, right? Now, let's get to this. Let's get to this, y'all. Y'all see the name. Y'all gotta let me know in the comment section. Y'all see that name right there. Now, let's get to this, right? Now, this is how you know people be lying their ass off. And when I tell you people be lying, bro, don't ever, and the rock means ever bring your ass, come against me, fool. Because if you come against me, you better have all smoke ready. I mean, you better have, it better be something that's way different playing with me, right? Now, let's keep going, you guys, right? Think about this, y'all. So they had the log evidence, screen evidence, right? Right? The internal building security cameras they track each person, exactly where they went, the path, the file, everything. And they got the videoing them, right? 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 And the computer logs prove that the only file ever loaded for public requesters was a 30-minute long-range stadium video file that has since been released to the public. There's no physical or digital record of any high-definition up-close video ever being opened because it does not exist. Wait, y'all. Because I know y'all asking me. You know, that chick massaging me. I know y'all asking me, right? Check it out, y'all. This how you know they lying. The IT system and access audit logs. When someone views public records at the government office, they're sitting at a secure district computer terminal. Every single action taken on that computer is digitally logged by the Frisco ISD's IT department. This system keeps a precise digital audit log of exactly what file path was opened at exactly what millisecond and at which station. These logs prove that the only file ever accessed or decrypted for these viewers was the master stadium security file. There is no digital footprint of any high-definition file being played on those terminals because a high-definition file does not exist. Wait, y'all. We got specifics. Remember I told y'all to remember that name. Remember that name, y'all. Uh-oh. I got myself a wet, but really I don't need the heat. They heart pump Project Kool-Aid, they sweet. What Turner claimed versus reality. Hold on, y'all. Wait a minute. Let's go back. We got to go back. Y'all see the name I outlined right there? Woo, woo. Woo, woo. Y'all see the name I outlined right there? We ain't playing no games around here. Y'all see that name, right? Look at that name right there, y'all. Now let's get to it. Nigga want to talk to me, nigga. I'm on a whole different level. Nigga, I'm surgical with this thing, nigga. I'm surgical with this thing, nigga. I'm surgical with this thing. I got you on paperwork. I got you on logs. I got all the work, nigga. So that's why I tell y'all, nigga, y'all be listening to people come on YouTube making their channel lying. And I have the real evidence. And I'm willing to go to court behind it. I'm willing to do whatever we got to do behind it. Because I can prove what I'm saying. Morris Dwayne Turner became a focal point of online rumors when he publicly claimed that he used Texas Open Records law to view the stadium surveillance footage at the Frisco ISD office. He alleged that the video clearly showed multiple students surrounding, confronting, and attacking Carmelo Anthony while Anthony tried to flee. The description completely contradicts the real evidence. When the footage was officially released to the public by the Collin County Court, it proved that the video is far away, grainy, pixelated, and shows a brief, most obscure interaction between Carmelo Anthony and a single individual, Austin Metcalf. There is no close-up, high-definition recording of the group attack. But let's keep going. I ain't finished with him yet. It was also disproven by the trial testimony in his own defense. Turner's narrative is entirely debunked by the trial itself. If a video showing a group beating actually existed, Carmelo Anthony's own defense attorney, Mike Howard, would have built his entire case around it to prove self-defense. Instead, Carmelo Anthony's defense team openly acknowledged to the jury that the video is incredibly grainy and hard to see. Turner claimed to have seen details that Anthony's own lawyers admitted do not exist on that tape. Let's keep going though. I ain't finished yet. When I pull out the strap, I pull it all the way out. Let's finish. His public exposure and backlash. The controversy surrounding his lies intensified. When independent investigators and online commentators looked into his background, public records revealed that he is a convicted, registered child sex offender in Texas who previously served federal prison time. This revelation sparked outrage in North Texas, not only because he was fabricating details about a murder case, but because it exposed a major legal loophole. Under Texas open record laws, Frisco ISD was legally required to let him request and view the surveillance footage involving MINORSs without a background check. He fabricated the clear group attack story to insert himself in a highly publicized, racially polarized case. He counted on the fact that because the school district banned phone recordings during the in-person viewings, that nobody could immediately post video online to prove that he was lying. Now that the actual court evidence is public, his narrative has been completely discredited. See, he thought because he did go down there to see the video, he thought he could just lie and get famous and make people come, oh man, I'm going to follow him. He got busted. He's on tape down there. Tell him to go down there and get the videotape of what he was watching. I guarantee he won't do it. He saw the same video file we all saw and lied to y'all, added D's on that shit and lied. And lied. And people platformed him and put him on their channel. And gave him a convicted sex, and they believed this guy. The document officially filed July 7, 2000, right? In 26 by Carmelo Anthony's new appellate team. So this is to everybody else who was lying, talking about ticket. What is lawyer? Nigga, you lying too. This is the 193 page I just showed y'all. Carmelo Anthony's new appellate team, right? Look at this. The document officially filed on July the 7th. This one I just showed y'all. This whole 193 page document I just showed y'all. And Carmelo Anthony's new appellate team contains absolutely no claims. No claims. No claims. Peep game, y'all. None whatsoever. That a secret, high definition video of a group beating was withheld by the state or Frisco ISD. Instead of chasing internet rumors about a secret tape, the 193 page filing focused strictly on the systemic and constitutional errors committed by the court. The specific breakdown of what the appeal actually argues includes violation of public trial rights, the Sixth Amendment. The defense argues that Judge John Roach Jr. effectively closed the courtroom to the public by banning media cameras, strictly limiting who could sit in the gallery during the trial. The defense claims Anthony's constitutional right to a transparent public trial was violated. Also, let's keep going, because them niggas want to get cooked. Them niggas don't know. I ain't the nigga you want to get in here with. Trust me, I'm not the one. A broken deal with prosecutors. The filing alleges that the prosecution team reneged on secret off-the-record agreement. Remember I told y'all about this? At the last minute, according to the defense, on both sides had an unwritten pact to exclude certain character flaws and extraneous offense, right, evidence, right, from being brought up in front of the jury. The defense claims the prosecutors broke this deal, which sabotages Carmelo Anthony's ability to safely testify in his own defense. 3. Unfairly rushed trial schedule. The defense criticized the extreme speed at which the trial was conducted. They point out that the judge forced a court session on a Saturday. I told y'all this. A day when several crucial defense witnesses were completely unavailable to testify. Furthermore, they claimed that when Carmelo Anthony had to make the massive decision of whether or not to waive his Fifth Amendment right to testify, the judge only gave his legal team 10 minutes to counsel him through it. Didn't I tell y'all all this? I told y'all, you never have to lie. The truth is enough. And when you platform liars and offenders like that, you're the problem. You're a part of the problem. And you need to be exposed. Because they all lie. I know you might like them. I know you might, why she gotta lie? Because they liars. A biased post-trial media appearance. A major section of the brief demands that Judge John Roach be recused from the case. Moving forward, the appellate attorneys argue that the judge compromised his neutrality by going on national television days after the verdict to defend the jury's decision and validate his own legal rulings while the case was still technically pending. The 193-page appeal is a legal attack on how the trial was handled in Collin County, not a claim that new video evidence exists. The appellate lawyers are working with the exact same grainy stadium footage shown to the jury. The narrative of a missing clear video remains a total fabrication, confined to social media echo chambers with no basis in the official 193-page legal filing. Y'all want to keep playing with me, man? Y'all want to keep playing with me? The motion for a new trial filed on July 7, 2026 does not claim it does not claim that a video was missing, hidden, altered, or withheld by the prosecution or Frisco ISD. The appellate attorneys did not structure the appeal around evidence being hidden, but rather around strict legal procedures that they believe were violated by the court. The courtroom access, the gentleman's agreement, the jury's instructions, and the judge's conduct. Get these bums out my face. I told y'all, they ain't on my level, man. When you come live, I'm going to bust you out. Now, they got all the evidence is in the files. It's all on videotape and digital files on the videotape. Take your ass down. If you don't believe me, take your ass down there. Tell them, take your ass down there. Go down there to Frisco ISD and request with the same thing they saw. It's all in the paperwork. It's all in the paperwork. And they got them on video cameras. They got them on video cameras. Lying. Talking about, yeah, man, I seen a clear video. I seen them. You a liar. You on video. And these fools didn't even know. They thought because they took their video cameras or their phones, they thought that nobody had phones. These fools was too stupid to know they had cameras in that room. They didn't know they had cameras in that room. They didn't know they had cameras in that room, y'all. They did not know they had cameras in that room. Here it is right here for you. Now you ask them, do you want to change your story? And what you saw on that screen, you lying to all these black folks, enraging black folks on YouTube because you just want to become famous and enter yourself into something. And this is how selfish and demonic people are. They were willing to do this. And you talking about a situation where a person's in prison for 35 years and another one is unalive. And for internet clout, people was doing this shit. But what they didn't know is when they went in there, they were being monitored on video. Kind of hard to lie about what you saw on video if you're being videoed watching the video at the same time. To see what you're watching on that video. I told you. All of them was lying. The bald-headed dude on the other dude's channel, they all was lying. The lady who went up there, I'm a Carmelo Anthony supporter and I saw a clear, you're a liar. You're a liar. Point blank period. You're a liar. You are a liar. Your name is, and we know exactly what time y'all went down there, because your name is on, we know exactly what file y'all saw. Y'all are in the files. And the part y'all didn't know is, see, y'all thought because they told everybody they couldn't record while they was in there, y'all thought, damn, ain't nobody got no recording, so shit is all word against theirs. Nope. They had people, they had videos tracking you. Listen, because the stadium footage was legally restricted and contained sensitive evidence regarding a fatal stabbing. Frisco ISD officials did not leave the visitors alone in the room with the file. Requesters were escorted into specific viewing areas monitored by school officials. Hallway and room security cameras recorded these individuals entering the viewing space, sitting down, looking at the screen, and exiting. They can't lie to y'all now. The lies are up. The lies are up. It's all over with. It's all over with, bro. Y'all might as well come clean, man. Y'all might as well come clean, man. Any individual who went in the office to privately view the track meet footage was captured on camera multiple times. This internal footage serves as an airtight administrative record that can completely expose these online rumor starters as liars. I told y'all this. But y'all ain't want to listen to your boy. And I've been telling y'all this shit. They ain't got no brains, bro. They thought because didn't nobody have a cell phone to record the video, they didn't know and didn't think, damn, somebody recorded me in here. They all lied just for social media clout. And you had people bringing them on the channel. Oh, for real? That's what happened, man. Are you serious, man? They jumped them. Lying ass. Yep. 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 And if I'm lying, tell them to sue me. We go to court. I subpoena the actual video of them down at the Frisco ISD and what they looked at. That's what I thought. Like, share, subscribe. Easy work. Megyn Kelly, you and Nancy Grace. Yeah. Y'all in trouble. Y'all in trouble. Y'all came out here and y'all did what y'all did. Y'all in trouble. Because now the jig is up. It's all out here in the public now. Right? The Metcalf twins, they have been arrested for racist graffiti. They had victims that were coming to court to testify against them. And because Carmelo Anthony, crazy ass lawyer, made a deal with the devil, they held all of that evidence out the trial. So when you said his family were race hustlers and all these other things and saying that they was using a race, Megyn Kelly, ma'am, well, I suggest you right now call the Metcalfs and ask them. You might want to issue a formal apology and a public retraction before they sue your ass. Like, share, subscribe, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. And if y'all enjoyed this video, man, yeah, hit me up, Cash App, PayPal. Let me know what y'all think, man. Link is in the description box or in the comment section below this video. Now, you still gonna have people to come here, man. I still think this people crazy as hell, bro. I can show you the actual paperwork, my nigga. This is the world we live in, y'all. I can show you paperwork. Everything. I got all the paperwork right here. I got all the subpoenas. I got all the paperwork that's in it. It's right here in the appeals. I got all that shit. All of it's right here. What they gonna do? Like, share, subscribe, man. You stop playing games with me, nigga. I'm great. When it comes to this, I'm not good. I'm great.
Hey, we always appreciate the support, and if you guys want to do so, you can use the Cash App or PayPal links. They'll be in the description box below this video or pinned at the top of the comments. The top donators will be announced every month. All right, you guys, hope y'all enjoyed the video. Like, share, and subscribe. Make sure y'all cop the merch, and make sure that you get the weight loss formula. The links to that will be in the description box below this video. Check out our next video coming up right now.